Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Bethany, Oklahoma. SNU football is on the air. Tonight, two teams looking for their first win of the season as your Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm hosts the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs in a Thursday night special at SNU Football Stadium. Hi, everyone. Luke McConnell and Landry Franks with you this evening on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel and Crossover Radio Sports. SNU football brought to you this season by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. The Bulldogs and the Crimson Storm come into tonight's game both 0-6, sitting at the bottom of the Great American Conference standings, along with fellow winless foe Northwestern Oklahoma State. It's been tough sledding thus far for both teams, but tonight one of them will be able to erase the 0 in the win column. SNU coming into tonight's game off a 49-10 loss at Harding on Saturday. The Crimson Storm forced 2 first-half turnovers against the Bisons, but were on the short end of a few plays that could have completely changed the complexion of the game. Southwestern fell last week at home in Weatherford to Ouachita Baptist 30-10. Both teams are beat up, missing key players tonight, so this evening's outcome could be determined by how well the next men up for each team perform. Execution and avoiding mistakes will be key once again as the Crimson Storm continue to look for the first win of head coach Dustin Hayden's career. And Landry, we talked to Coach Hayden earlier today, and really was a game of inches last week against Harding. Early in the game, could have been tied 14-14 early in the second quarter without even changing much of the game besides one or two plays here and there in the early going. He mentioned there were 8 over the course of the game that really could have turned the tide.
Yeah, and you look at the score, and it seems like it was kind of a bloated, one-sided game. But when you do narrow it down to 8 plays, 8 plays they wish they had back or they felt like they could have really capitalized on, whether making a stop or getting in the end zone, and that was the result of the game. And really, football games, for the most part, especially in a competitive conference like the GAC, are going to be that close. So even though the scores might be kind of lopsided from time to time, the games really do come down to just a few plays. And again, Luke, this is a young team. Coach Hayden, it's, I think, trying to remind us that and himself of that too, that some of these errors are things that they're coaching through and working on and trying to get better at, those small little discipline areas that can help them win games against a tough competition like Harding.
Yeah, we asked him earlier about just, you put all this planning into the game plan. You want to run X play in this situation, and then you have one guy make a mental error, there's a penalty, and basically your whole game plan can go out the window just like that. And, that's a frustrating thing for a coach, for a staff to deal with that. And I would imagine it's just as frustrating when, you've got a wide receiver wide open on the seam and the ball is just tipped enough to where it falls short and incomplete.
Yeah, those are plays that you wish you had back. I was listening to a podcast this summer and just interviewing coaches, and they all remember their worst play, right? Like they remember the ones they drew up that failed, but they remember those ones that were right there and just fell just short. And Coach Hayden is certainly, able to, if we asked him, he could have listed all 8 plays verbatim to us and the mistakes that were on those. And I think that just shows, one, the discipline that this coaching staff has to want this team to improve, but 2, just how close they are to really breaking the seal of this season. They have a really winnable schedule the rest of the remainder of the season, and certainly tonight. And I think Coach Hayden is trying to really get his guys to see it's that small. It's not this large gap, but it's that small. These games are really winnable, and we can build the program we want to.
Yeah, you mentioned the schedule. Home tonight against Southwestern, then you go to Alva to take on Northwestern, again the other winless team in the conference thus far. You do have the road trip to Henderson State, which will be tough sledding regardless of the name on the jersey. And then you close with Southern Arkansas and Oklahoma Baptist, both teams that had high expectations or have been contenders in this conference in the past, but both underwhelming thus far. Southern Arkansas is just 2-4. They've lost their last 4. Oklahoma Baptist 3-3. Definitely underperforming expectations of at least what was expected over in Shawnee. So yeah, it does have a lot of hope the rest of the way for sure if you can make those corrections. But injuries have affected things, especially offensively. Yeah. It's a very depleted wide receiving core. No Jarrell Farr again tonight. No Asa Robertson tonight, who was breaking out a bit as a freshman but got hurt last week against Harding. You didn't have Reed Roloffs the past 2 games. He will play tonight. He tested it out in pregame warmups, and he gave us the thumbs up that he is good to go. You also get tight end Dalen Smith back just 7 weeks after an injury for him. So you're kind of mixing and matching, and the injuries are just happening at the wrong time, if you will. You're experiencing this growth, but then you have the injuries on top of it, of course, and that's not even to mention that you're without Gage Porter as well.
Yeah, and that's just the season kind of beats you down. Doesn't matter what team you are. SWASU's missing a few people on the defensive side of the ball, but when you hopefully as a coach you expect injuries. You can't have a season without them. It's almost inevitable. But you hope that they aren't all on one side of the ball, and that's what it seems like it is today. You have nearly 5 potential starters out of the game. And so you are going to rely on some of those players to step in, and they have been. They have been, certainly. But injuries can really throw you in a loop. Injuries can happen in the middle of the week of practice. But also, too, we have two starters coming back today, and wide receiver Roloffs and the tight end. But they haven't been practicing. It's a lot different to sit for a couple weeks or maybe even 5 weeks and then try to hop back into a game. Coach Hayden said that their conditioning, would be tested tonight. And I think injuries, those are subtle results of injuries too. Even though they're back on the field, those things can affect the flow of an offense.
And with that, as far as getting guys back, it's a short week. It's only been 4 days since you took on, or 5 days really, since you took on Harding, and you were trying to get over some of these injuries, and SNU fortunate to get some of these guys back, but you wonder if the short week, prevented a guy like Jarrell Farr from being able to be back, or Andy Cardenas at the left tackle spot, 2 guys who will be out tonight as well. But he did also mention some of the advantages tonight. I think we're going to see that play out on the call sheet that he mentioned, just opening things up a little bit more.
Yeah, certainly. And too, just a quick word about a short week. It's like when you have a vacation coming up, you just kind of telling yourself, just get through this week, finish well, and then you have this long break. And I'm sure he's been preaching that to his players this week, that it is a short week. We get to play on Thursday, and we get to rest well over the weekend. And this is a team that needs that rest and needs that opportunity to kind of be refreshed by a long break and get some people back from injuries.
And Coach Hayden also going to partake in the short week as well.
Yes.
He mentioned that Saturday morning he's hoping to be in a deer stand somewhere up in Alva. Right. So
with his phone probably turned off.
Exactly.
So.
No worries about football, enjoying the crisp, cool morning, and it will be cold Saturday morning too.
Yeah.
We're planning on going camping Friday night, and it's going to be like a low of 40 tomorrow night. It's going to be great. I'm fired up myself.
I'm sure your kids will be excited too.
Yes. My wife, maybe not as much once she was really grasping that 40 degrees is the low. Ooh, maybe not. But with all this, there's been lots for SNU to improve on, and as you've taken in this first half of the season, what are things that you've seen SNU do really well, and things that you think that are monumental things for them to improve on?
Yeah, so things they did well. They're 0-6, and it doesn't matter how you slice it. It does not feel great to be 0-6. But if you walk in the locker room, Luke, we had the privilege of being in the locker room kind of right as the players were entering. It doesn't seem like they're 0-6. And it certainly in the coaching staff, they're aware of the challenges ahead of them. But I think this is we've been talking about it because Coach Hayden's been talking to us about it. But the culture they're trying to build, these are those turning point moments, and they're excelling at that. Their culture is coming through in the fact that they aren't having sideline fights. They're not getting arguments with each other. They're not worried about who's starting where, but they're bouncing back, and they're playing hard in every game. How many games have we seen where they've gotten down and fought their way back, right? Like losing teams, that is not their tendency, and I think it is a result of the culture. Now, that being said, They seem to be afraid of the end zone from time to time. Touchdowns are hard to come by. Field goals easy. Touchdowns not so much. And that's the only way you're going to win football games, especially in the GAC. You got to get into the end zone. And then defensively, they've been stout on the run all season, but the deep pass has been a real struggle for them. And so they've really got to shore up the secondary. And it's not every play that the secondary is off, but it's those big plays, play action, which SWASU will run a lot tonight, that they have to be focused in on. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of go in both ways. You look at the penalties issues, which really reared its head 2 weeks ago here against Arkansas Tech when they had 20 penalties for 183 yards, just really unheard of numbers. But defensively, the penalties have been probably more damaging. They've given up 17 first downs by penalty this season. And I think starting slow offensively, I think those are probably the two biggest things. SNU, they scored those 14 points against Arkansas Tech in the first quarter, but that came on the pick six and the blocked punt in the end zone. So they still have 0 offensive points in the first quarter so far this season. And, by the time you get out of the first quarter, opponents so far this year, 48 points and 117 in the second quarter this season. So your SNU's been when looking at a deficit, by halftime every single game, and some of them have been sizable deficits. Yeah. And so this team is not necessarily built to come back from that, and it's just a non-advantageous position to be in to start slow like that. As far as doing well, gosh, it's been fun to see the transformation along the defense. It really has, especially the defensive line. I mean, we talked about it with Coach Hayden earlier today, but 2 years ago we were in Weatherford for a game very similar to this. Two teams that weren't doing well as near the end of the year. You thought going in, this is going to be a fairly even contest. It might not be pretty necessarily by from a technical standpoint, but it should be pretty even. And Southwestern just ran the ball down SNU's throat, had the ball for close to 40 minutes in time of possession, and it was frankly, from my perspective, the worst game SNU played all year, just because they were just so thoroughly dominated by a team that was not good. Yeah, and
couldn't throw the ball.
Exactly, they could do nothing else. But that has not been the case at all this year. We have not seen SNU really been bullied at all this year. It's been different the way that they have fallen down. I mean, you give up 310 yards to Harding last week, but, I mean, it's Harding. That's going to happen. Right. Technically below their season average, too. There you go. But I think, the play of the defense has been really encouraging to see, and seeing how many freshmen and young guys that are out there making those plays is super encouraging going forward.
Yeah, their front four has been tremendous, and the fact that they have a front four in this division is kind of rare. But they played really well.
So it looks like Southwestern has won the toss, and they will defer to the second half, so SNU will get the ball first. And as we count down to kickoff here, Southwestern already on the field, SNU about to take the field here in Bethany. And Landry, who are two players you're looking for tonight?
Yeah, I have 3 players. I hope that's all right, Luke.
Oh, absolutely. The more the merrier.
That's right. I'll start with defense. I was tempted to pick the front 4 for the defense, but I'll just pick 2, and that's the 2 nose guards that are going to rotate in, DeMarcus Hawkins and Mason Williams. SWASU predicates their offense on running, and nose guards don't make many tackles. They don't make many sacks, but they do a lot to kind of junk up the middle of the field. And this is a game that you're telling your nose guard, like, hey, no glory tonight, but you're going to make a bunch of plays so linebackers can fly in there and make tackles. So I'm watching those 2 guys. I think they're going to have a big night and plenty of opportunities to kind of do some dirty work and free up some clear paths for some of those edge rushers and linebackers. Luke, what about you? What defensive player are you looking at?
On defense, I'm looking at Eli Calhoun, who's had a great season. He's second on the team in tackles, 42 tackles. Plays with an edge. He's only 5'9", but I think he has given giving the defense a lot more personality. And, I asked Coach Hayden about that. Do you feel like both units play with a different level of edge? And he said it kind of comes down to just the personalities out there.
Right.
On defense, you've got just from being around the guys a little bit more boisterous personalities, and on offense, not quite as much. And Eli Calhoun is a great example of that. One of the best tacklers on this team with 42. So looking to see him have a big game tonight.
Yeah, he's played well, and one thing I'm looking forward to on offense, this is another great thing that it's hard to notice, is Dalton Sanders blocking out there on some of those bubble routes. He's going to get plenty of action tonight, so I'm looking forward to see how this wide receiver can open up the running game.
SNU back deep to receive. It's going to be Brian Whitefield on to send this one away for the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Thursday evening, and we are underway here in Bethany. High end over in kick. It's going to come down to Josh Johnson at the 2. Johnson working up the near side, cuts it across the field. Now he's got space into the middle of the field. 35, 40, 45. Can he outrace the defense? 40, 30, 25, 20. One man to beat. 10, 5, touchdown! And Josh Johnson takes the opening kickoff, 99 yards for a touchdown.
Can you believe it? I mean, it seemed like all season that return right has been open and just one cutback lane, and I don't know if anyone touched him after about the 20-yard line, and he's running free.
Josh Johnson electrifying in the return game to start this one. He had a huge return in 2019 as a freshman against Southeastern that keyed that huge comeback, and he starts this Thursday night special with a bang, going 99 yards to the house. Ryan Reed's extra point is up and good. Just 18 seconds into this one, the Crimson Storm leads 7-0. We'll take a break and be back after this. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmond Air Heat and Plumbing. Where if you're just tuning in, you're already behind. SNU leading this one 7-0 as Josh Johnson took the opening kickoff 99 yards to the house. An incredible start to this one here in Bethany as SNU leads Southwestern 7-0. And the Bulldogs will be getting the ball on offense as Ryan Reed on to send this one away. And Talon Garrett back deep to return. Reed's going to send a high pooch kick. And it's going to be Garrett running up and catching it at the 23. Tried to make a man miss. Ball was loose.
Yeah, it looked like it flew out of bounds. It's unfortunate because, Garrett just lost it as he was falling down. No contact to it. I think just the momentum of him being swung down launched that ball into the SWASU sidelines.
Looked like Blade Horton there on the kickoff coverage. And so the Bulldogs will start 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
And that looked like disaster for SWASU. That high kind of pooch kick landed exactly where they needed to, but Garrett just got there.
It'll be Tanner Griffin, the sophomore quarterback from Bixby, Oklahoma, getting the start tonight. Did not play last week. He turns and gives to Nate Davis, running right through the middle of the defense, breaks a tackle, and he's off and running. But Trent Smith with a nice tackle downfield to save the touchdown all the way at the SNU 46-yard line.
Yeah, Nate Davis, their leading rusher, he's kind of a speedy guy. And then they have another running back who's kind of the big bulldozer, Kenny Graham, who's going to get a lot of touches in this game as well.
The Bulldogs move the ball primarily through the air, 265 yards through the air. They're last in the conference in rushing, less than 100 yards per game. They've got it 1st and 10 at the SNU 46. Griffin turns and gives. This time, it's going to be number 34, Gerald Palmer, trying the right side, and he'll get about 3 on 1st down.
Yeah, and SNU defense, it's always great to have a touchdown on a kickoff return to start the game, but it's hard to settle in if you're expecting to watch the offense. You got to turn it on quickly, and SWASU's been able to get a couple chunk plays here on this first drive.
2nd and 7, 3 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Palmer remains the back. Griffin, back to pass, looking left. Out route to Garrett. He's got it, and he'll have enough for the 1st down, taken down by Trent Smith at the SNU 33-yard line. But that is enough to move the chains, and the Bulldogs moving quickly down the field here on their first offensive possession as the shadows creep across the field here in Bethany. A beautiful Thursday evening. Light breeze out of the south, but a gorgeous night for football. The only game in all of Division II tonight, so we welcome those of you who may not have watched SNU football before. We're excited to have you. Griffin back to pass on 1st down. Floating it out to the outside. It's caught by Bailey. Cuts inside at the 10, makes a man miss, and he's going to dive for the end zone. Did he get there? No, the officials say he is down at the 1. Justin Bailey with a nice move on the outside, came back inside, and nearly had himself a 33-yard touchdown. Instead, it's going to be 1st and goal at the 1.
Yeah, just a flat by the tight end and then a corner out by the receiver. Good defensive coverage, but they've got to close down when they see the ball in the air, and it was just too much space for him to catch and run.
Wildcat formation here for the Bulldogs, and into the end zone for the touchdown goes Ethan Hike, the freshman from Edmond Santa Fe High School. And just like that, the Bulldogs answer the huge opening kickoff return for a touchdown by SNU and march 65 yards right down the field and score a touchdown of their own.
Yeah, and you start really well, and then defensively, a little frustrating drive. Just seemed a little soft up front. Some correctable things certainly, but you'd hope to get the ball back to your offense, taking an early lead.
So less than 3 minutes gone by. We've already got 2 scores. David Vargas on for the extra point. He scooped that one, but it will be just good enough. And so with 12:06 to go in the first quarter, we're all tied up at 7, and we'll take a break. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
At SNU, we recognize the sacrifices made by our nation's veterans and their families. Whether you're looking to move up in the ranks or start a new career, we have degree options and support systems in place that will help you find success during and after college. SNU has a team dedicated to helping you make the most of your VA benefits for education and the post-9/11 GI Bill. Together, we'll find the academic support you need and connect you to support groups in your local community, whether you study on campus or online. Going back to school can be a streamlined, rewarding process. Let us show you how. To learn more, visit pgs.snu.edu/veterans.
Welcome back to Bethany. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks with you for Southern Nazarene football. Just 3 minutes gone by. We've already got a touchdown either way. And SNU looking to get the ball on offense here as Whitefield will be on to kick this one away. Chances are he's probably not going to kick it to Josh Johnson this time.
At least he's been told not to.
He's going left this time. It's going to be Cameron Andrus from the 4. And he'll cut it across the field. Now get outside trying to make him miss. He's going to be decked from behind. A flag comes in late. And it's going to be inside the 20-yard line. Ashton Hamby with the takedown of Cameron Andrus. So we'll see where SNU starts. It's not going to be ideal field position one way or the other.
Yeah, unless there was a face mask that we didn't see. Looks like it's going to be a block in the back on SNU.
So the officials huddling to discuss the call. And there is no foul. So Not great field position, but certainly better than it would have been as they mark this one 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. So Jarvis Davis comes out as the starting quarterback, and Joey Carrion is the center. It was a game-time decision tonight after getting banged up last week against Harding. Angel Ramirez the back, 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Tisdale the man in motion to the top of the formation. They turn and give to Angel Ramirez, trying to make something out of nothing, and he got 3 up to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and there was nothing going. In fact, I think we got away just with a little bit of a hold by a right tackle. Just great effort by Hernandez getting up the field and getting a couple yards.
This Bulldogs defense missing several of their top tacklers this week. We'll see if SNU can take advantage. Jarvis Davis, quick slant to Aaron Fellows up to the 30-yard line. That's going to be enough for the first down, and a nice, easy, simple throw there, Landry, early on.
Yeah, and again, this is SNU's bread and butter. It's RPO with a bubble to the outside, and then they just sneak that inside receiver who is supposed to be blocking a linebacker, but instead of going to the second level, he just stops and finds a hole in the coverage for a 7-yard completion.
So 1st and 10 SNU at their own 30-yard line. Davis completing just 41% of his passes this year. That's good to see him in rhythm early. Outside for Tisdale, a little bit behind him, but he was able to catch it, and he's going to get 3 or 4. Ushered out of bounds there by Richard Silva.
In SNU, the bubble is their favorite play to run, and they can run just about any formation they can run bubble out of that formation. And the reason they like that is because when they block well, it's 3 or 4 yards. And as a football coach, you live with plays that get you 4 yards because that means you're getting first downs consistently.
Wide receiver either side, diamond formation in the backfield for the Crimson Storm. Davis gives it to Fellows, trying to get outside. Good blocking on the perimeter, but a nice job getting off the block by Darius Franklin. And he ushers Fellows out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Crimson Storm, sporting all crimson tonight.
Yeah, and man, it seemed like there was a lane, and the cornerback for SWASU just making a play, getting off the block, and meeting the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage.
Reed Roloff's out there for the first time tonight.
It's good to see him back.
Yes. The 5th-year senior from University Place, Washington. He's been around a while here in Bethany. Good to see him back out there. Davis, quarterback draw all the way, trying to get outside, and he's unable to escape. Loss of 3 back to the 30-yard line as he was decked there by number 91, Nate Bernard. Was the defensive end on the far side who set the edge and didn't allow Davis to escape, and Bernard cleaned it up.
Yeah, nothing doing there. I will say Jarvis Davis might lead the GAC in helmet lost per play.
It does seem he loses his helmet a lot, one way or the other. So Ryan Reed on to punt, 2nd in the conference in punting average at 43 per game this season. It'll be Bailey back deep to receive. That one hits Bailey at the 30, but it did not skitter away far, and he was able to fall on it quickly.
Yeah, and he's walking off with quite a bit of confidence, but also probably a little shaken. So I'm sure he's glad that he landed on that. But that was almost a really poor situation for SWASU. But again, that's a muffed punt, and then a fumble out of bounds to another change in momentum that were right in the fingertips of SNU, just bounced the wrong way.
So the Bulldogs out here 1st and 10. Kenny Graham is the back for Southwestern, wide receiver either side to start this possession right in the middle of the field. Griffin, quick play action pass to Bailey on the RPO, and he got him on the slant all the way out to the 46-yard line. And that's a pickup of 17 yards on 1st down.
And that is the textbook definition, at least in my mind, of an RPO. You have the option for the inside zone, the quarterback keeper, or the deep slant route, and the slant route was wide open as the linebackers came in for the run.
1st and 10 Bulldogs at the 46-yard line. 2 wide receivers left. The give is to Graham, running left, cuts it in the middle, and he's met right there by Josh Lopez, the freshman from San Antonio, Texas, leading the team in tackles with 46, which is good for 5th in the conference. Limits Graham to just a gain of 3.
Yeah, and this is the same guy that 2 weeks ago Coach Hayden said there's nobody more physical than him in the entire conference, and he certainly plays like it. He does not look like a freshman. He hasn't looked like a freshman all season, but the last few games in particular, he's played very well.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Griffin looking to the left, looking outside. It's going to be short hopped in there, looking for Patrick Lee, and he just got that over the outstretched arms of James Love on the outside as well.
Yes, just barely, and Love doing a good job of seeing there's no one in front of him, and so what do you do as an outside linebacker? You get depth. You get depth because that means normally someone is right behind you, and so you kind of cut off that corner post, or excuse me, that post corner route as he did right there.
3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Blitz coming for SNU. They flare it out to Graham on the wheel route, but it was too high, and he dropped it. Josh Lopez knocked Graham to the turf to make sure that stayed incomplete. Now Graham is down over here in front of us on the SNU sideline.
Yeah, and it looked like Graham, when he jumped to grab that ball, just landed just a little awkward. He's reaching for his ankle, looks like, and you hate to see someone go down, especially early in a game.
The Bulldogs relatively healthy on offense. They are without wide receiver Adrian Williams tonight. Most of their injuries are on defense, and SNU also with a player down in the middle of the field. Did not see that a moment ago. So we'll step aside for a quick moment and come back as it is 4th down for the Bulldogs, but we'll be right back after this. This is SNU football. Welcome back to Bethany. Kenny Graham able to walk off under his own power. And it was Trent Smith who was down for the Crimson Storm, also walking off under his own power. Good to see for SNU. Good to see for both. And
yeah.
Smith kind of grabbing at the back of his neck there. Hopefully nothing serious for him. And he's one of those guys, and with his position at that safety spot where he's been banged up all year, really.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that just plays injured.
And come down to hit.
David Vargas on to punt for Southwestern. High end-over-end kick, but it's well to the right, and it sails out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. We'll see where the officials mark this one. SNU's going to get pretty good field position here as they spot this right at the 30-yard line, and that's where they will take over 1st and 10. But a good stop there after the quick slant to Bailey. SNU goes 3 more downs and forces the punt.
I mean, that's what we expect to see from the SNU defense, who's played well all year. And now they kind of got away with one with the dropped wheel route that was wide open. But getting the ball back to your offense and letting them get some rhythm is an ideal response to a touchdown.
2 wide receivers to the right. Fellows comes back in motion. He'll get the carry. Dodges a tackle, dodges another tackle, crosses the 30, and he's only going to get 2. Flag comes in from the back judge. Andrew Tisdale was out there blocking.
Yeah, and he's going to get called for a hold here, if not a face mask. It looked like his hand kind of got caught up around the neck as they were both tumbling to the ground.
Officially a gain of 1 for Fellows on 1st down. And they are going to get Tisdale for the holding call. So it'll be 10 yards from the end of the play. So it'll bring up officially 1st and 19 here as they move this back to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and these are those plays, that Coach Hayden was talking about that kind of slow down a drive and slow down your momentum. You hold that's not really a part of the play at all.
Davis back to pass, looking to his right. Now escapes the pocket to his right. Fires it, and it's caught by Dalton Sanders, who did a nice job coming back to the quarterback. And they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
And good job by Jarvis Davis there, extending that play. He was looking right at Brandon Perez, who was just kind of running an inside hitch route, and then got his legs taken out by a linebacker with no flag. So good job by him seeing that's not an option, going to work upfield and find another open receiver.
So that makes it a very manageable 2nd and 4 from the 36-yard line. Diamond formation here. Davis fakes to no one, and he's in trouble. And he's going to be taken down for a loss of 2 back to the 24-yard line as number 30, Jamari Ayers, with the tackle in the backfield, the redshirt freshman from down the road in Del City.
Yeah, and this is the problem when you have injuries kind of all over the offense. Those mesh points, those things that you're used to with the starters can fall through. So Jarvis Davis turned around and had 3 running backs next to him at the start of the play, turns around and finds no one.
So 3rd down and 6. 3 wide receivers to the left. Ramirez comes in motion to the right. Davis back to pass. He's got space on the left side. Now he's in trouble trying to get to the 1st down. He's going to get there, I think.
Yeah, it looked like he stepped past the down marker.
And
great
the official
effort
on the far side gave him just enough.
Yep, give him
for the first down. Great scramble there as he was just able to escape Richard Silva. And a 1st down for the Crimson Storm after being backed up on 1st and 19 with the holding penalty.
Yeah, and Jarvis Davis is doing a good job keeping his eyes down the field, holding those linebackers in their position so that when he does tuck it and run, the scramble can be there.
So 1st and 10 for the Crimson Storm at their own 40-yard line. Tisdale to the top of the formation. Davis, quick slant to Fellows. He's decked immediately there by number 33, Landis Morris. But again, 4 yards on the easy route and good confidence there for Jarvis Davis, and Aaron Fellows getting some big touches early.
Yeah, and a good bounce back by SNU. 1st and 19. That's almost seems like in weeks past that's been kind of a drive killer. And they're able to respond and get a 1st down in kind of a tough situation and keep moving the ball forward. They've had success in just about anything they've tried other than outside run already.
4:30 to go first quarter. Fast-moving opening 15 minutes. The sweep to Tisdale. Cuts upfield. Crosses midfield. 45-40. 35-30 down the sideline. And he's finally taken down out of bounds by Landis Morris. All the way down to the SWASU 21-yard line. A gain of 35 yards for Andrew Tisdale, who has come up huge at the receiver position the last couple weeks with the injuries.
I got to say it, but wide receiver blocking makes that play what it is.
Absolutely.
Blocking down the field.
Quickly bubble out to Dalton Sanders. He's got great blocking. Crosses the 15-yard line. And a good run after the catch by Dalton Sanders. And they're already inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And Landry, this is where SNU's offense has been tough at times this year. They're 11 of 15 in the red zone with 9 touchdowns. But for whatever reason, those 4 stand out in strong fashion.
Well, and what they like to do, and I think Coach Hayden is making a good decision here, they like to push the tempo when they're in the red zone, and they're kind of slowing it down. And run your best play. Try to get something that is your bread and butter on a short 2nd down.
2nd down. Davis keeping on the outside, turns the corner inside the 10 and out of bounds. He's got a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Crimson Storm at the SWASU 8-yard line.
And Jarvis looks locked in tonight. He's reading the defensive line and the outside linebackers really well. I mean, that was a perfect pull. As he sees that defensive end and that outside linebacker chase the run away, he just pulls it and finds himself 5 yards of green grass to run up the field.
2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Ramirez the back to the right of Davis in the shotgun. Perez in motion, now goes back to the right. The give is Ramirez, following his blockers, up the middle, still on his feet. He got all the way down to the 6. Didn't look like there was much there, but just followed Big David Morales and the other members of that SNU offensive line.
Yeah, and the SNU running backs, both of them, run hard. Ramirez and Shellmeyer known for their ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, but when you give them the ball and they're running behind those big offensive linemen, they run hard, and it's almost never one tackler to bring them down. It's usually 2 or 3 and turn something into nothing again.
Down to 2:12 to go in the first quarter, 7-7. The Storm and the Bulldogs. Tisdale in motion. Davis fakes the give. Quarterback draw, follows the blocker, Ramirez all the way down to the 2. It was Silva who saved the touchdown. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Luke, I think I just said something into nothing. I meant nothing into something.
There's been times where it's been something into nothing too, though. That happens sometimes. So 3rd and goal from the 2. 2 wide receivers out to the right are Tisdale and Roloffs. Ramirez is the back behind Davis. Alvarado comes to the right side of the formation. Davis running right all the way, cuts it up inside. He got there! Oh. Touchdown!
Yeah, and we had two different calls from 2 different refs. One saying he's just short, one saying a touchdown. So they made eye contact, and both threw their hands up for a touchdown.
So a tremendous 70-yard drive for the Crimson Storm, and they take a 1-score lead with 1:18 to go in the first quarter. A huge response offensively after that first offensive possession. Ryan Reed out to attempt the extra point. The operation smooth, and Reed sends it through. So with 1:18 to go in the first quarter, our new score, Southern Nazarene 14 and Southwestern 7. We'll take a quick break and be back after this. This is SNU football. First quarter nearly in the books in Bethany as SNU leads Southwestern 14-7. The Crimson Storm kicking off right to left. It will be Ryan Reed to send this one away to Taylon Garrett. Bulldogs in all white tonight with navy trim on the pants. Crimson Storm in all crimson tonight, crimson tops and pants. As Reed sends a high end over end kick. Garrett fields it at the 13, working to the right, now cuts back up the middle of the field, bounces off a tackler, and he's still on his feet as SNU tried to rip at the football, still on his feet, finally is officially down at the 36-yard line on a play that officially took 17 seconds.
And it seemed like it. I think he even got tackled twice on that play. Was on the ground and just got picked up somehow, and one of the SNU defenders tackling him again. So great effort by Garrett, man. He's a hard runner. He's fast.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. SNU defenders having to shade their eyes in the sun, looking to the sideline for the call. Griffin is out there as the quarterback. And the give is to the running back, Cole Cizik. Said not on my watch as he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. That's number 20, Jermaine Mask, the sophomore from Dallas, who got absolutely nothing on first down.
Yeah, and just great job by the front four to just get a handout, something to where they can grab onto a jersey and stop that play at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10, 33 seconds to go in the quarter. 2 wide to the right, 3 to the left. Griffin looking to the left. Quick slant is behind the intended receiver, Anthony Love. It falls incomplete with 25 seconds to go in the quarter.
Luke, I'll tell you, one of my pet peeves about the RPO is the amount of times you have to rely on the slant route, which the average football fan thinks is a very easy route to throw. And to better athletes than myself, I'll say that maybe it is. But slant routes can be really challenging. They're timing routes, especially if you're faking a handoff, and you can tell that one's behind, almost intercepted.
3rd and 10. Griffin back to pass. Blitz coming. Looking to the right. He's got his man, but he's going to be short. Torrin Justice taken down at the 45-yard line. He's going to be a yard shy. It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, and kind of in no man's land here. I'd expect SWASU to just go for this.
I think head coach Chet Pobolish is going to let the first quarter clock run down and give himself some more time to think about it. At the end of one here in Bethany, Southern Nazarene with a 14-7 lead over Southwestern Oklahoma State. We'll take a break and be right back after this. This is Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing's presentation of Southern Nazarene football.
Wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is a smile. I want to give the guests a little encouragement, maybe just a little joke that makes them laugh when they come through the drive-thru. We can stay 6 feet apart and have the best air high five.
Second quarter time here in Bethany, and it looks like the Bulldogs are going to go for it here on 4th and 1. They're in the Wildcat formation with Ethan Heights in the backfield. He's got the snap, gets outside to the left, and he's going to get the first down. Trent Smith couldn't quite bring him down in time.
Yeah, and it looked like everyone in front of him on the Wildcat formation is about a half second faster than he was.
Yeah, I looked that way as well, Landry. I kind of was a little surprised. Of course, SNU, I believe, got away with a false start earlier on their last possession, so
yeah.
We'll call it even now.
That's right.
But first down for the Bulldogs at their own 48-yard line. Man in motion is Love. The give. Cross midfield. Goes Mask on first down, and he will get 4 into SNU territory to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and SNU, they got to be ready. The run is just going to come after them, and then they're going to want to hit a deep play-action pass. So you kind of have to balance yourself of being ready to come down for the run, but also staying disciplined for a deep pass.
Griffin back to pass on 2nd down. Looking over the middle, he's got his man Garrett all the way down to the 30-yard line. That'll be more than enough for the first down on the 18-yard pickup to Talon Garrett. His first reception of the evening. And the Bulldogs in business, 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Southwestern, plenty of receivers to go around. They'll substitute those quite liberally this evening. Love comes in motion. Everybody else in tight. Griffin turns and gives to Mask, running off right tackle. Gets inside the 25, inside the 20, and he's banged out of bounds. Several SNU players wanting a hold there, but didn't get it.
Yeah.
As Mask goes out of bounds at the 18.
Looks like there were a couple holds missed on that play, and you can usually tell if the hold is legit if you look at the defensive coordinator. He'll kind of tell you what he's seeing. Players always think they're getting held, but the defensive coordinator usually tells the truth a little bit more than they do.
So in the red zone go the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs 12th in the conference in the red zone, just 7 of 16 in their red zone trips this season. Griffin pump fakes, looking for the end zone. It looked like the receiver ran the wrong route, or Griffin threw the wrong route. It falls incomplete. Looking for Torrin Justice on the bubble and go.
Yeah, and that's why you teach your players to collision. before the ball's in the air. This is in the NFL, so they can collision someone, really until the ball's thrown. And right there, it's a perfect example. They see the wide receiver trying to sneak up the field, and they just collision him, slow him down, and the ball is thrown way over his head, and his route is off.
3 wide left. SNU shows blitz off the edge. They're coming. Griffin looking, lobs it down the middle of the field. It's going to be incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Andrew Horton. Pass a little bit over his outside shoulder. He was unable to bring it in. Josh Johnson slow to get up in the end zone for SNU.
Yeah, and Josh Johnson, good coverage there. He does a good job of staying disciplined with his hands, not to grab, but to just have a hand on him as to guide him with his route. Just enough coverage. No contact with the ball or anything like that, but just enough coverage to make the tight end miss that would-be touchdown.
3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Wide receiver either side. Tight end on either side. Griffin on the quick slant. Too high for Love. And the SNU defense holds in the red zone. It's 4th down.
I'm telling you, slants, they're one of those things that they can be open most of the time, but you have to be able to throw the slant route. And we've seen SWASU about 50% on slant routes, and 2 of them on 3rd down. That could have been conversions.
And the official just stopped play. I think he's motioning that. Oh, the one of the looks like the umpire took a shot. So the SNU training staff out to check on our umpire for the evening. Holding the side of his face. Trying to shake the cobwebs out, it would appear.
Yeah.
12:20 to go before halftime. It's 14-7. Southern Nazarene with the lead. Southwestern on to attempt what would be a 35-yard field goal. About 34 is where Justin Bailey looks to be ready to set the ball down at.
You think SWASU makes their kickers wear numbers in the 60s?
I don't know. Their usual one, Haralambos Pashas, wears 83. But David Vargas, the punter, has taken over the kicking duties as Pashas 0 for 1 on field goals this year and just 9 for 13 on extra points. Snap, hold, kick from Vargas is on the way, and it is wide to the left and no good. So a nice SWASU drive ends in 0 points and 12-12 to go before halftime. Our score remains the same. 14-7. SNU with the lead. We'll be right back after this. This is SNU Football brought to you by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Welcome back to Bethany. 14-7. Southern Nazarene leads Southwestern Oklahoma State. 12-12 to go before halftime. Luke McConnell, Landry Franks with you here on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel and over the air at Crossover Radio Sports. It'll be Colby Entwistle coming out at quarterback. And Landry, this was something that was planned. This is not an indictment on Jarvis Davis in any way, especially after he just scored a touchdown on the last possession. But Colby Entwistle, the freshman from Edmond, out there right now at quarterback, and a flag to start this possession. Going to get a false start here on the Crimson Storm.
Didn't see one, but that means it probably was the offensive line.
And also out there for the first time today is Orlando Brown for the SWASU Bulldogs. Inside linebacker was questionable coming in. He's their leading tackler this season by far with 50 tackles for the season.
Yeah, and he has a heavily taped right leg, pretty much his entire leg.
Tisdale, the man in motion. Entwistle keeps it, trying to make a man miss. He's going to be upended on the perimeter there by Devatrick Daughtry.
Yeah, and when we were talking to Coach Hayden, he said that they're both quarterbacks know there's no controversy. There's no, it's not necessarily a quarterback battle, but they think Entwistle provides some toughness and just a mix-up into their offense because they do run the quarterback run so much, just to give some options and some new looks to SWOSU.
Entwistle, a member of the SNU baseball team as well, an all-conference performer back in the spring. Tisdale again comes in motion to the far side. Entwistle, pump fake, screen pass inside is going to be dropped by Alvarado. A little bit of a low throw there from Entwistle.
And a quick, fast screen throw, which is not typical. You want to make yourself big and tall and just kind of put that into the pocket of your tight end right there, and low and fast. Still catchable, though, and it was wide open.
So that brings up 3rd down and 15 for the Crimson Storm with 11:19 to go in the quarter. Other athletic events for SNU. The women's soccer team fell at SWOSU earlier this evening. And the men at Rogers State tonight. Entwistle back to pass. Under pressure, fires a strike. It's tipped by Brown, but it falls incomplete. He was looking for Fellows on the slant. But a nice job by Brown to get his hand on that pass. And SNU will go 3 and out and punt.
So Entwistle, correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, played a freshman year of baseball last year and is playing a freshman year of football this year.
The next
then
athletic
play
calendar.
Another freshman year of baseball.
Yes, that is correct.
It's incredible. So he could be the freshman standout player twice.
Yes, in theory. I don't know if we'd have to ask Eric Moyer if freshmen are eligible twice. Ryan Reed's punt bounces at the SNU 49, takes a sideways hop. Is going to be down by Landon Walker right there at the SNU 49-yard line. And that's where the Southwestern Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter when we come back. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Introducing Domino's new 2-minute guarantee. Order Domino's car-side delivery. Check in when you arrive, and we'll be headed out the door less than 2 minutes after it's ready, or your next pizza is free. Nothing will stop us from getting out the door fast. Rain, snow, wind, and wild animals. Carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 and put our 2-minute guarantee to the test.
Welcome back to Bethany. As we mentioned before going to break there, SNU men's soccer in action tonight at Rogers State. The men's soccer team looking to go through the first half of conference play undefeated. And remember, the top seed in the conference hosts the conference tournament. So could have the GAC MIAA conference tournament here in Bethany homecoming weekend. First down for the Bulldogs. Griffin back to pass. Escapes the pocket, fires it out. It's going to be short, looking for Torrin Justice. It falls incomplete. Good pressure there by Milik Ritchie from his defensive end position.
Yeah, and he was battling through that, getting held and everything, and still forcing that low throw by the SWOSU quarterback.
2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball is spotted at midfield. The ball never crossed midfield on that punt, so interesting, but, oh well. 2nd and 10. Griffin turns and gives to Palmer. Running left, trying to bounce it outside. And Cam Wells does a nice job of upending him, and Colton Morris finishes the play on the perimeter.
Yeah, man, and just tremendous extra effort to grab on and carry down the ball carrier as you're going to the ground, too. Seemed to be out of position on that play, but just tremendous effort to finish that tackle off.
Gain of just 3, so it'll be 3rd and 7. Morris, one of those freshmen who has made such a big impact on this defense. 6'4", 200 linebacker from Cypress, Texas. And now
Yeah, they're fixing the down marker. Got just about destroyed on that last play. I will say, just the formation that SWOSU's lined up in, they have these wide receivers close to the SNU sideline, not in tight to the formation. And, normally you do that if you're running something back inside. And we've seen on their last 2 third downs, they've just run that RPO inside slant route. It's been unsuccessful the last 2 times. But, the more you run that RPO in similar fashion, and they might surprise me. That's certainly true. I'm willing to admit that. But the more you run that RPO, you're kind of tipping your hand a little bit, or you're trying to set up another play. But they haven't had success with it either, which means if I'm this defensive end, I'm not too concerned with the quarterback keeping it on the RPO. Maybe I am the running back. But that slant route, James Love has had it come to him several times, and he's in great position again.
So 2 wide right. Griffin instead is going to give to Palmer. He's trying to get outside. He's not going to get there. Trent Smith came up and made the tackle. Gain of 2 on 3rd down to the SNU 45-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 5. And we'll see what Southwestern elects to do here. They're leaving the offense on the field.
Yeah, and Luke, I was wrong. But I will say the other reason you scoot your wide receivers all the way outside is to run an outside run to that side, create more space. And great play by the outside linebacker coming up, just getting a shoestring, bringing him down.
2 wide left, 1 to the right. Griffin back to pass on 4th down. Looking, deep slant. He's got his man. It's a 1st down inside the 25-yard line as he goes to Patrick Lee. Just Lee's 5th reception of the season, but it's good for a big gain of 22 down to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and just deep post route there, and coverage was good. But again, we've said this before, just seeing that ball in the air, kind of getting lost a little bit, giving them too much room to catch that ball. They got to put your foot down and come downhill and collision that wide receiver as the ball is getting there.
2 tight ends to the right. They run that way with Palmer. Cuts it back up inside, and a nice tackle by DeMarcus Hawkins after a gain of about 4 down to the 19-yard line. 8:38 to go, 2nd quarter. SNU leading 14-7, but the Bulldogs in the red zone. Once again, they came up empty with a missed field goal last time, and now Palmer is down on the field for Southwestern. So we'll step aside for a moment and come back and get back to action after this break. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Sell online tickets directly from your school's website. Scan digital or printed tickets with the Hometown Gate app. And get immediate access to ticket revenue with real-time reporting. At no cost to your school. It's that easy to bring touchless ticketing to your hometown. Hometown. Fast scans, happy fans.
Welcome back to Bethany. Gerald Palmer able to walk off, but limping heavily. It's 2nd and 6 for the Bulldogs, moving left to right here in the 2nd quarter. Griffin, quick slant. He's got his man Bailey inside the 5. Down to the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and the linebackers just got sucked in on the run, and it's wide open. Yeah, not much else to say about that. That RPO is there, and it has been all night.
2 wide receivers left. It's Kenny Graham, the back for the Bulldogs. He's got it, and he will plow his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And we're an extra point away from being tied here in Bethany with 7:46 to go before halftime. Rangers, something that Harding did. They hit a few passes over the top early, just sucking in the SNU defense, and it seems that the Southwestern offensive staff took heavy note of that.
Yeah, and SNU is doing a good job of staying over the top, which means they're not going to get beat deep on a long passing route, but their cushion is so soft that it's been a little more challenging for them. As this play breaks
got away
down
from Bailey. He's trying to get outside, and he's going to be taken down out of bounds by Calhoun and Cam Wells. So the extra point operation fails.
Yeah, and that, honestly, the way they've been kicking field goals today, it might be a better option than kicking field goals. But it goes without saying, you miss an extra point, it's only 1 point, but now SWOSU's on their heels going forward in this game. If it is back and forth like it's been so far, they're the ones with the pressure on them to make something happen where SNU can just score touchdown, kick a field goal, score touchdown, kick a field goal. And so those are small things that drive coaches crazy.
Southwestern had missed, or starting kicker Haralambos Pashas had missed 4 extra points earlier this season. And while that one doesn't go down as technically a missed extra point for Vargas, it's still a missed opportunity. And,
for sure.
Leaving points on the field. And Southwestern's been in a lot of games this season. They lost by 4 to Oklahoma Baptist, 2 to Arkansas Monticello. They lost by just 9 at Southeastern. They've been close in many games this season. Those add up. Whitefield on to kick this one away. Josh Johnson and Cameron Andrus back deep for the Crimson Storm inside their own 10. Angled toward the sideline, and that's going to get out of bounds.
Oh, man.
Too much of an angle there from Whitefield. So the Crimson Storm will start with great field position here with 7:46 to go in the second quarter.
I'm grieving for their special teams coach, who's going to not sleep a wink tonight with a kick return for a touchdown, a missed field goal. Referee telling us the ball will be placed on the 35-yard line. Missed field goal, couple bad punts. That is got to be aggravating.
Not ideal. Jarvis Davis back in at quarterback. One wide receiver either side. And now the officials stopping play to huddle about something.
2 different huddles going on.
Right referee and the field judge huddling on one side, the head linesman and the side judge on the other side. Now the head linesman running in to join the conversation. I'm not sure what this could all be about.
You think the umpire feels left out right now, or?
Probably.
Yeah, he just wants to know what's going on.
The umpire's the guy who's got to make sure that everyone adheres to the no playground rules.
That's right. Ball lock. Isn't that what you used to say?
That's right. So now we're ready. Everybody back in position. Wide receiver either side for the Storm. Perez in motion. The give is to Shellmeyer running right, but trying to bounce it outside, but unable to do so. A nice tackle by Devatrick Daughtry. No gain on first down for the Storm.
And the run game has been tough sledding so far for the Storm. They've had a lot of success with bubble and with just quick hitch routes, out routes, things like that. But the run game has been a little more challenging. Ironically, though, the last drive they had success in the red zone running the football, which has been something that's been almost non-existent this year.
The Bulldogs 11th in the conference, giving up 217 yards per game on the ground thus far. Perez motions out of the diamond to the left. Davis running that way. Tries to cut upfield, but he's met in the hole by Orlando Brown, and he's dropped for a loss of 2 back to the 33-yard line. So now it brings up 3rd and 12 for the Crimson Storm. Not an ideal down and distance for this SNU offense here with 6:35 to go before halftime. And SNU's going to burn their first time out with 6:29 to go in the first half. And we'll take timeout too. SNU won 14-13, and we'll be back right after this. This is SNU football.
At SNU, we recognize the sacrifices made by our nation's veterans and their families. Whether you're looking to move up in the ranks or start a new career, we have degree options and support systems in place that will help you find success during and after college. SNU has a team dedicated to helping you make the most of your VA benefits for education and the post-9/11 GI Bill. Together, we'll find the academic support you need and connect you to support groups in your local community, whether you study on campus or online. Going back to school can be a streamlined, rewarding process. Let us show you how. To learn more, visit pgs.snu.edu/veterans.
Welcome back to Bethany. 3rd down and 12 for the Crimson Storm, who lead the Bulldogs of Southwestern 14-13. Ball spotted on the near hash. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Alvarado, the tight end, across the formation to the left. Davis back to pass. Got time, being pressured from behind, and he's going to go down. Sacked from behind by number 92, R.J. Powell. He got there first, and Logan Monroe cleaned it up. Davis had some time and stepped up in the pocket, but it collapsed quickly.
Yeah, and that backside defensive end just staying with the play. And that's one that, us in the press box could see it from a mile away, but Davis having no idea that outside pressure is coming.
Ryan Reed on to punt this one away. So SNU started that drive with great field position, but were unable to do anything with it. Wind has died down considerably since kickoff. End-over-end kick from Reed finds Bailey at the 32 with a fair catch, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10. And Landry, this SNU defense has done a nice job thus far. They have given up, obviously the 2 scoring plays, but overall, holding the Bulldogs averaging about 7 yards a play thus far. SNU at 5 yards per play. But the Bulldogs have, put up 181 yards of offense, and the majority of that, as expected, through the air. 126 through the air thus far.
Yeah, and they've found some good zones to throw the ball into.
Griffin takes the snap, looking, checks it out to the running back Mask out of the backfield, makes Josh Lopez dance a little bit, and he's got a 1st down out to the 44-yard line.
And this is what a good run game will do. They've been running the ball at least well enough to hold that linebacker in there, and then you send that running back just kind of on a check down route at the end, and Josh Lopez is having to play recovery, running over there and making the tackle.
1st and 10 Bulldogs at the 44. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Griffin back to pass again, looking on the outside. He was trying to hit the tight end, Jacob Karsak, but that one falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Good coverage there by Trent Smith.
Yeah, and one of my favorite offensive plays, just a flood pattern. So you got everybody running outs on different levels. And it seemed like the 2 deeper outs were a little more open, but he goes for the tight end and just pushes them a little long.
2nd and 10. Love, the man in motion, comes inside. Griffin going deep this time, and it's going to be caught. Deshaun Moreau caught it deep as Cam Wells and Elijah Calhoun both went for the deflection.
Yeah.
It somehow missed both of them, and Moreau is down to the 12-yard line.
And Calhoun, he undercuts that to try to make a play on the ball, which you're fine with if you do make a play on the ball. The danger with undercutting a route is if you don't get a hand on it, if you don't do something, no one is behind you. As a safety, you kind of have to play that game a little bit. It's tricky because it's a quick decision, but certainly pays off for SWOSU.
Griffin, stretch play to Mask. He's going to be taken down in the backfield. DeMarcus Hawkins coming off the defensive tackle position. A loss of 2. Great play there by DeMarcus Hawkins, a junior from Monterey, California, transferred in this year.
Yeah.
And a huge negative play there for this Crimson Storm defense. 2nd and 12. The Bulldogs can get a first down at the 2. Griffin back to pass, looking right. Fade pattern, looking for Love. He's got him in the end zone. It's a touchdown as Angel Hernandez slipped in coverage, and that gave Love enough space to haul in the touchdown. With 3:35 to go before halftime, the Bulldogs looking to go up 6. Not going for 2, not chasing points here.
No, not yet. That's one of those plays that's difficult because they have a big, tall, fast receiver on an outside linebacker. It's just not the matchup you want.
Snap, hold, kick on the way. And I believe he missed it wide right. He did.
Yep. Well, SWASU will not be kicking any more field goals the rest of the night.
Yes.
I'm just calling it.
Yep. Vargas will only be on to punt from now on. So 3:35 to go before halftime. It's now 19-14 Southwestern with the lead. And Landry, like you said, 6'5" Anthony Love on the 6-foot Angel Hernandez at outside linebacker. Yeah. Not the ideal matchup there.
Yeah, and it's just tough because you do have to trust your outside linebackers in the system that they run. You're going to play man defense, and SWASU's seeing that and is shifting that outside receiver inside to get the matchup that they want. That's a halftime adjustment where you get your better corner, a little faster corner in those covered positions that you'd prefer. But it's pretty hard to be an outside linebacker, worry about the run, but also you have to cover their tallest wide receiver. That's just a tall task.
Literally. Whitefield to send this one away for SWASU. Kicked the last one out of bounds. SNU would love him to do it again.
Looks like he might.
He's angling it toward the left side, and Andrus saved it on the sideline and now is going to be called out of bounds. He was standing out of bounds when he picked it up. Yes. Oh, no, now the official threw a flag.
So, Luke.
I'm not sure what this one's going to be.
This is the rule. If you are standing out of bounds when you pick up the ball, you get the ball at the 35-yard line. I saw Randall Cobb do it in a game one time.
Well, there you go.
Now, I didn't think he was out of bounds.
It was very close.
So, yeah, the game in particular I'm thinking about, Randall Cobb literally lays out of bounds and then touches the ball to get the ball on the 35-yard line.
So SNU could start this possession at their own 9 or their own 35.
And then another flag was just thrown right in the middle of SNU defenders. And I'm not sure what that is for.
Well, this could be unfortunate both ways.
Yes, this might be the worst field position SNU started with all season.
Or you could split the difference here and go to the 35 and then count off 10 or 15 and start at the 20 and just call it average.
Yeah, and this penalty over here closer to us, closer to the SNU sideline, I'm just confused. You know, I didn't see anything. The only thing that I guess would someone saying something to a referee or an official. I didn't see anything.
So it will be the out-of-bounds kick.
Against the bench.
So somebody on the bench saying something, potentially somebody on the coaching staff.
Yeah, and Dustin Hayden is probably saying on his headset, what number was it?
So I'm not sure where they're going to spot this.
Yeah, certainly it should be 35, then back to the 20. You start 1st and 10 at the 20.
Yes, that would seem to make the most sense here.
Luke,
the official said something about 30 yards from the kick, which, well, I guess 35 to 35 is 30 yards, so that would be that. So, so they're going to mark it off from, which I don't know why 39? The umpire has to walk all the way to the 35 and then walk back 15 yards.
Yes, this always cracks me up. Okay, he's there.
He's at the 35. And now he's going to mark off the 15.
He's making sure the officials see that he's at the 35. And now he will walk back 15 yards. They're going to set the down markers. I know that there's probably reasons for this, but when you're just watching, it's comical.
All right, so they've moved all the chains up to the 35. Now they're going to turn around and have to walk all the way back to the 20.
And I believe it'll be 1st and 10.
It will be 1st and 10. So they move it all, so the chains go all the way back the other way.
Oh, man.
So after all that, 3:31 to go, second quarter. Southwestern leading 19-14. This has been Adventures in Football Procedure. Jarvis Davis, the quarterback. 2 wide receivers to the right. Fellows goes in motion to the right. Davis bubbles it out to Fellows. Good blocking on the outside. Fellows trying to get through all the mess. He'll gain about 3 or 4.
Yeah, and one thing Davis has improved on each week that he's been the starter with the injury. Why can't I think of the other quarterback's name?
Gage Porter.
Gage Porter, excuse me. All you Gage Porter fans, that's my fault. He's gotten better at throwing the bubble. You know, the first week we saw him, he was kind of throwing it all over the place, and that was a perfect pass right there, leading your receiver just enough to where they catch it in stride.
Davis 6 for 6 tonight thus far. Ball has not touched the ground with him. Davis is going to keep it up the middle. Could not escape the tackle of number 49, Logan Monroe, a freshman from Dallas, forced into a starting action tonight because of the injuries in that linebacking core. Logan Engel, second leading tackler on this squad, not playing tonight, and he made a huge play there. It's 3rd and 5.
Yeah, SNU not in a rush right here. If I'm Davis, I'm just taking all 20 seconds remaining on the clock to snap this.
Davis rolling to his left. Feeling pressure. He's got Fellows. He's going to be short of the line to gain as he's knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line. There is a flag
where he threw it
thrown over here on the outside the hash. We'll see if this is roughing the passer or potentially a holding.
Yeah, I didn't see enough people around him for a holding.
So it is going to be roughing the passer on the Bulldogs. So a gift first down from Southwestern.
Yes, just
addressed to the Crimson Storm.
Mental error right there. We'll take that all day. Davis, thanks for laying your body on the line for the first down.
Indeed. So that'll move the ball up to the 40-yard line. 2:16 to go before halftime. SNU trailing 19-14. The officials turning 15 yards from the line of scrimmage or the end of the play. So they're going to do it from the end of the run. So 3 extra yards for the Crimson Storm up to the 43-yard line.
Well, I hope the umpire has a smartwatch on. Track all those steps he's getting in today.
He is. Getting some good work. Of course, he took a shot in the face earlier, too, so he's probably not thinking it's his best night so far. Clock moving down to 2 minutes. SNU with 2 timeouts. Ball at the 43-yard line in SNU territory. Davis back to pass. He's got time. Fires it down the sideline. He's got Andrew Tisdale wide open. He's got it inside the 30. What a great throw. Tisdale came in motion across the formation, and he just ran a go route down the far sideline, and a beautiful throw from Jarvis Davis.
You know, I think Coach Hayden would call that a wheel route. They ran those last week against the team in Arkansas. That I can't think of. Harding. Oh, man, struggling.
Davis, quick bubble out to the far side. There were Southwestern players all over the field, and I think Southwestern was fortunate to get a timeout because there was like 15 guys on the field at least.
Yeah, easy. I mean, I think there was a coach out there too, trying to get in on the play. But yeah, like I was saying, against Harding last week, he said that missed 2 wheel routes. You know, those are things that seem to be cleared up tonight.
I'm going to take a quick moment to give a shout-out to our esteemed crew here in the booth with us. Cameraman Edgar Ceballos and producer Christian Garcia. SNU students helping us out and doing a fantastic job. All the great work that you see on your broadcast is courtesy of those guys. We just have to put good words with the good production. That's all we do here. They do the hard work. We do the easy work of just spewing words and hoping that they all come together nicely. So big shout out to those guys.
For sure.
Grateful for them and grateful for all of our workers on the production side for all our SNU athletics events. Literally could not do it without you guys.
Yeah.
So it's 1st and 10 here for SNU at the SWASU 26-yard line. Still 2 timeouts for SNU, 1:51 to go before halftime.
Yeah, plenty of time here going, inside the 30. You want to use all 151 right here.
2 wide to the left. Got Reed Roloffs out here on the far side. Davis fakes the give to Tisdale, running right up the middle. Holding on to the football tightly. He's going to be taken down after a 2-yard gain by a host of Bulldogs.
Yeah, man, he was getting tugged on his jerseys. Jersey's practically off of his body right there.
His whole arm was out of his sleeve. That's pretty incredible.
It's like a scene from The Little Giants right now. But his helmet stayed on, so we'll live with that.
SNU needing to go quickly, but they had to get Davis's arm back in his sleeve.
That's right.
12 on the play clock, 1:15 on the quarter clock. And now a false start.
Yep, and Luke, you might be familiar with this, but recent change in rules, recent I say 5, 6, 7 years ago, you can say in high school and college, you can say something to adjust the defensive line. So you can say jump or go or you can even clap in some circumstances as long as you don't say the same word that the quarterback on the other team is saying. And so just an easy way to get your guard off balance with just a jump count right there.
So 2nd and 13. That penalty did stop the clock. Davis back to pass. He's got time. Rolls to the left, directing traffic, and fires a slant. He's got his man. It's going to be roll-offs. And he's got enough for the first down at the 15. There is a flag down on the far side. And we might have an eligible man downfield here.
Yeah. And the SWASU coach did a good job of convincing the line judge on that side to throw that flag at the very end of the play. But these are the kind of penalties that are frustrating. I mean, certainly there was lineman downfield.
So another 5-yard penalty will move it back to the 34-yard line.
So now instead of thinking touchdown, you might have to be thinking, okay, we got to set up a decent field goal for a field goal kicker, which is a frustrating position after you set yourself up with great field position, 2 penalties in a row.
2 wide receivers right, 2 to the left. Davis is back to pass. He's got time. He's firing the post route. Roloffs is knocked to the ground by the cornerback, Tremont Fullwood. Crowd wants a flag, but the pass was so far out of the realm of possibility. I mean, you could probably have called holding or something.
Yeah, and maybe that's the call you called, and that's what seems like Hayden is asking for an explanation, and he puts his headset back on, pretty cool, calm, and collected, so I don't know if he's arguing too much with that. Also the play caller tonight, so he's probably trying to get that play in. But I didn't see the ball near enough for a pass interference, but maybe a hold on something like that. But probably best to just let that play go.
So a fresh 20 on the play clock here as they bump that up. 54 seconds to go in the half. Davis is back to pass. He's got time, plenty of time. Lobs it toward the sidelines. Fellows fell down. He got up. Oh, and he dropped it. Looked like he made an incredible catch. He slipped. He was just hanging out on the sideline by himself. Wide open, but slipped coming back to the ball. And then dove for it, but couldn't make the catch. So it's 4th down from the 34-yard line. SNU leaving the offense out there with 46 seconds to play in the quarter.
Yeah, and maybe you just do a quick kick here with Davis. Try to pin him deep.
2 timeouts for the Bulldogs. That would seem like the prudent play, or at least get some yards down the field.
Yeah, and you have a receiver covered up over here.
So 3 wide receivers to the right. Davis steps up, fires, and it's going to be short and incomplete on 4th down.
Yeah, one thing Hayden has told us several times is, they're not afraid to go for it on fourth down, be aggressive when they need to, and
leading the conference and going for it on fourth down. I believe that was the 23rd fourth down attempt for SNU this season.
Yeah, and they've had some success. That's a tough fourth down to convert, no matter how you slice it. And I do think there would have been some kind of penalty if that had been completed to roll-offs. It looked like he was covered up on the inside, but two, you probably don't trust your kicker's leg that far, and it's too close to punt, so you just roll the dice.
Earlier, you maybe go for it. I mean, it would have been a 51-yard field goal, but no win to speak of. Griffin, slant, and it's going to be incomplete. Good coverage there by Josh Johnson.
Yeah,
they were looking for Torrin Justice there.
Yeah, and it's good to see the refs kind of be similar in what they are throwing flags on. That was about the same as read roll-offs. Now, the pass was closer, but the contact was about the same. So refs keeping the flags in the pocket.
Bulldogs with 2 timeouts, 35 seconds to go. 2 wide to either side. Mask is the running back. That's going to be a false start on the right tackle, Chris Dickert, the junior from Magnolia, Texas. That'll make it 2nd and 15 at the 29-yard line.
Luke, you might have noticed this, but Angel Hernandez is able to go inside even though there's 2 receivers out to this and just focus on the run, maybe collision number 2 because they've dropped Calhoun to cover this inside receiver, so you're having your safety come over and help now.
Hernandez coming on the blitz. Griffin looking on the outside. It's going to be intercepted. Dorian Harris dodges the tackle. 35-30. Down the sideline. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Dorian Harris takes it all the way.
And Dorian Harris can fly, Luke. My goodness.
That hamstring looked just fine there. There are 3 penalty flags on the far side of the field.
And all of this looks like it's coming after the play, which there's a bunch of SNU players over there, but
DeMarcus Hawkins has his chin strap completely ripped off. So let's see.
He needs to get off the field.
And he's not pleased. One of the referees is trying to get him off the field, and so we'll see what happens here. Harris did a nice job sitting on that route. They were looking for Justice once again. And Harris just stepped right in front of that one, Landry.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't a good throw. I mean, it was slow and it was
long to the outside.
Yeah, and if you have a good arm, you can do that. And he seems like he has a decent arm, but not only was it a little slow, it was behind the out route. So it's maybe the easiest pick of his life. And then he has the wheels to kick it into second gear and just outrun everyone.
So they issued unsportsmanlike conduct penalties to Josh Johnson, and I believe they said number 58.
Yes.
Who, of course, is not on the roster here, so it's probably not 58.
Yeah. And,
So just an unsportsmanlike conduct either way, and yet the one who was having to be ushered off by the official did not get an unsportsmanlike conduct in DeMarcus Hawkins.
Yeah, and, his helmet was completely taken apart, and if you've seen a football helmet up close, it's pretty hard to rip a chin strap completely off a helmet without force.
Ryan Reed's extra point attempt is up and true. So with 23 seconds to go in the first half, SNU finds themselves back on top, 21-19, and all this after the offense sputtered down outside the 20-yard line, but it's the defense with their second pick six of the season and their second pick six in as many home games.
Yeah, and just a tremendous play at the right time. And now you do, 23 seconds left. They still have 2 timeouts, so they can still hit a big play right here. You just need to be disciplined and try to get in to the field house with the score the way it is. SNU has played well in really all phases of the ball today. Certainly some things to clean up, but they played well, and they need to finish this half well so that they can can come back with some halftime adjustments and finish this game off.
Especially since Garrett has been strong on the 2 kickoff returns thus far for him. He's done a nice job, and he's going to get a chance here with Ryan Reed kicking off right to left.
And if I'm Ryan Reed, I'm looking at the SWASU 30-yard line. There's not a soul in sight. It's a hard kick for him. He's left-footed, but it's wide open. But I imagine it goes to the tight end number 80 right here.
High and over-end kick. Garrett runs up and fields it at the 25. Makes a man miss, trying to get across field, but he's going to be taken down at the 34-yard line. Good coverage there by Carlos Cepeda. Josh Lopez out there as well. It was Blade Horton who forced him back inside to start. So good coverage there by the Crimson Storm, and the high pooch kick does its job.
Yeah, it takes 10 seconds off the clock. So you'll live with that, trying to get into the end of the half. Expect some soft coverage from the Crimson Storm right here. You're not worried about giving up a field goal, just worried about giving up a touchdown.
SNU keeping things close to the line of scrimmage relative to the situation. The give is to Mask running right. He's going to be taken down, decked by Hernandez and Josh Johnson. And Chet Pobolish going to let the clock run out on the first half here in Bethany. So at halftime, the Crimson Storm taking a 21-19 lead into the locker room. And it'll be SWASU getting the ball out of the break, but so far, pretty good from the Crimson Storm. They've scored in a variety of ways. They've scored on offense, they've scored on defense, they've scored on special teams. I think that's a bingo, Landry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the best first half of football, in particular offensively, that they played all season, even though they've only had, which is crazy to say, they've had one offensive touchdown this half, but just movement of the ball, keeping the ball when they need to, putting themselves in position for success, best offensive half, and certainly defensively, they just made some plays. You know, you don't always have to have the best stats defensively, but just making some plays.
So both teams heading into the locker room, been a little chippy and edgy. Some couple SNU players just being escorted off by teammates.
Yeah, and DeMarcus Hawkins, I think, we saw those offsetting personal fouls at the end, kind of on really that touchdown. Josh Johnson gets one, and I don't know. We'd have to check, but it looked like something happened to Hawkins. His helmet was off. His chin strap was off his helmet, that is really hard to just accidentally happen. And then I saw, just kind of by those flags, Josh Johnson was kind of running around on his feet. So I think he probably went in to help his buddy do that.
So the officials are talking they had a little conversation with Josh Johnson. Coach Hayden had a conversation with DeMarcus Hawkins. Now another official is having a conversation. All of SNU's players were gathered in the corner of the end zone, I guess waiting instructions on going in if they were going to be addressed out there. So, but at the end of the day, SNU's heading into halftime with a 2-point lead. So we'll take an extended halftime break, and when we come back, we will have the Great American Conference rewind from Week 6 last week, get you caught up on all the action from a week ago and get you set for this weekend, including the huge matchup at the top of the conference as Harding travels to Arkadelphia to take on Henderson State. That one should be a doozy on Saturday afternoon. So we'll get you set for that, wrap up the first half, and get you ready for the second half of action in Bethany. Again, our score at halftime, SNU 21, Southwestern 19. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Welcome back to Bethany. It's halftime here at SNU Football Stadium with the Crimson Storm leading Southwestern Oklahoma State 21-19. Luke McConnell and Landry Franks here with you on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel and Crossover Radio Sports, presented by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing all season long. And Landry, it's a bingo for the SNU point production, offense, defense, and special teams, all contributing across the board here in the first half, and they've needed it to stymie a solid passing attack from the Bulldogs this evening.
Yeah, and you expect to kind of correct some of the issues they were having on the passing attack. But, yeah, so, what's typical nowadays, they have these nice fancy boards in the field houses of football teams. And on that board there might be a checklist for offense, defense, special teams. Defense might be hold someone under 20 points, and offense gain 300 yards of rushing. But all of them have score a touchdown. And those are nice little check marks that you get to put on there the day after a big game. And they've played well. All sides of the football, these are those things that you are that you're trying to teach your players as a coach that are paying off in different ways today.
Running through the first half stats for you real fast. 12 first downs for Southwestern, 6 for SNU. 14 carries, 55 yards for Southwestern. 16 carries, 52 yards for Southern Nazarene. Tanner Griffin, 10 of 20, 196 yards, a touchdown, and an interception for the Bulldogs. Jarvis Davis, 8 for 11, 74 yards for SNU. Doing a great job with the easy throws, Landry, and that has seemingly given him some good rhythm in the first half, and we'll see if that continues. But a great start for somebody who came in averaging just 41% completion this season.
Yeah, and I think coaching staff making it easy. Sometimes you look at those trends as a coaching staff, they do just as much as we do. And you think, okay, we need to put him in some winnable positions, and they've done that really well. One thing that I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but Southwestern's rushing attack. First play of the game, we see Nate Davis. He kind of hobbles off. We haven't seen him since. So that's something to look at in the second half. He was quick and fast, and certainly their leading rusher, and they've been trying to give it to several different guys, all of which have gone down with some kind of bump or bruise throughout this game.
Yep, Gerald Palmer left earlier in the game. We haven't seen Kenny Graham much in this one, but we've seen 5 running backs in this one. Ethan Heisch got the first touchdown on the Wildcat dive on their first offensive possession. Jermaine Mask, 5 carries, 18 yards. Palmer had 4 carries for 12 yards in the first half before leaving with that injury. Total offense, Southwestern doubling up SNU, 34 plays, 251 yards of offense, 29 plays, 126 yards of offense for SNU, 7.4 yards per play for Southwestern, 4.3 for SNU. But if you're the Crimson Storm, if things go well, your yards per play certainly is not going to be what most people would consider like a good number. 4.3 yards per play for the SNU offense is probably about what they're looking for. You're just looking for more of them.
Yeah, and eliminating penalties. That's something that SWASU has done a pretty decent job of avoiding penalties, and SNU I think could be up by another score, if not maybe 2 scores, if they eliminate some just simple ticky-tack penalties that have really stalled out a couple drives. One towards the end of the half in the red zone, or close, I should say, near the red zone. And so, you'll live with 4 yards of carry if you're Dustin Hayden, because that's how the offense is designed to get chunk play, and that's why he's not afraid to go for it on 4th down too.
Individually for SNU, Andrew Tisdale had 1 carry for 35 yards in the first half. Jarvis Davis has carried it 10 times officially for 12 yards. 2 carries for 5 yards for Angel Ramirez. Aaron Fellows had 1 carry that turned up no yards. Fellows did have 4 catches for 16 yards in the first half on a team-high 6 targets. 2 catches, 35 yards for Andrew Tisdale. 2 catches for 23 yards for Dalton Sanders, rounding out the SNU receiving output tonight. Josh Johnson took the opening kickoff back 99 yards for a touchdown, and Dorian Harris polished off the half with a 48-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Harris is a guy who has been dealing with a hamstring injury for the better part of 2 seasons now. And Landry, as he was taking that one to the house, it did not look like he had any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
which is awesome to see.
Yeah, he was flying. I mean, he looked like the fastest player on the field by a mile. I'm sure that the defensive coordinator is saying, "Slow down, it's okay. Don't mess up your hamstring again." But man, he's looked really, really good tonight, and they haven't picked on him at all. SWOSU really keying in on the other side of the field, trying to use, in particular, number 8 Bailey, with just those posts and slants to try to find something over the field.
This weekend in the Great American Conference, a couple big games on the slate. Arkansas Tech looking to extend their winning streak to 3 as they look to extend Southern Arkansas's losing streak to 5. They're in Magnolia on Saturday afternoon. The big game of the day, Harding at Henderson State. That game for first place in the conference. Henderson State still undefeated. Harding has won 4 in a row now after that loss at Southeastern in the second game of the season. Ouachita Baptist at Arkansas Monticello. Northwestern is down in Durant at Southeastern. And a sneaky good game, Oklahoma Baptist at East Central. East Central has been playing very well this season. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma Baptist a little bit underwhelming given expectations for the Bison this season and how they started with a barn-burning 7-point loss to Ouachita on the road. The Bison struggling a little bit here in the early part of the season. SNU athletics, women's soccer fell at Southwestern this afternoon. SNU men's soccer just starting the second half up in Claremore against Rogers State. It is 0-0 at halftime there. SNU volleyball at home looking for their first conference wins of the season. They have been playing really well of late, just ran into a buzzsaw stretch of the schedule the past 4, but Kevin Ingram's bunch has been playing really, really well and did a hard-fought losses this weekend at Harding and at Arkansas Tech. Mm-hmm. They're at home tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock against Southern Arkansas, then Saturday at 1 o'clock against Arkansas Monticello. And Landry's both teams back out here getting warmed up for the second half. I think one thing that stands out to me, at least, it's certainly surprising, SNU has not been able to really get much of a pass rush against Southwestern in the first half. No sacks in the first half, and really not even anything close to a sack at this point.
No, the pressure hasn't been there, but SWOSU's also leaving there. I think only a handful of times they've been releasing that tight end out for a pass, so they're holding in extra blockers, using the running back in the passing game as well. But yeah, even then, typically, we see some more penetration. And I don't know if it's also the RPO that's slowing up that pass rush too, where you can't just do an all-out just rush because you see the high hats. But maybe we see a more aggressive play call. I do think SNU is trying not to get beat over the top, which SWOSU wants to do. I think they want SWOSU to try to beat them in the red zone with the ball on the ground. And make something happen with their running backs who all seem a little banged up, and a running attack that quite frankly is not been that good this season.
The Bulldogs do have bodies up front. 7 of the 10 on the depth chart this week, 290 plus. So there's some big boys up there, but they have allowed 12 sacks this season, which is 10th in the conference, and SNU with 8 sacks this season, tied for 5th in the conference. So looking to maybe turn the pressure up a little bit in the second half and make Tanner Griffin make some mistakes, because Griffin has thrown 8 interceptions this season in 4 games played, so he can be prone to mistakes.
Yeah.
And we saw that with his 9th interception before halftime on the late throw and the inaccurate throw.
Yeah, and SWOSU has played 2 quarterbacks several times this year, so they're aware of this problem just as much as we are. And with a young quarterback, sophomore quarterback who's just trying to get his feet wet, you want to make things easy for him, and so they're protecting well, using some extra pressure or some extra blocking for that pressure. But I expect to see some, maybe some different stunts from the front line of the SNU defense, but I think they're doing what they have set out to do, which is not let anything over the top. Just have to be a little more disciplined on when to come down when the ball is in the air, And then offensively, I think SNU is doing a lot of things well. I'd love to see them get that inside running game that worked so well a few weeks ago going, because the holes are there. They just need to finish those blocks, and some of that is maybe the attrition at the offensive line, but certainly I think there's potential there.
Crowd's filled in nicely, a little bit of a late arriving crowd tonight, but Ray Blacknick sends the kickoff end over end. It's going to be Garrett from the 5 running to his right, finds an alley. He's got a blocker in front of him, but he's going to race out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And that is where the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10. SNU a little fortunate there that was not a late shove. It looked like Garrett had taken a step out before Holden Hill put 2 hands in the back there, but no harm, no foul, no yellow hanky, and it'll be 1st and 10. Bulldogs from their own 38-yard line, moving left to right here in the third quarter. No breeze to speak of at the moment. It was a decent breeze to start the game, but that has gone by the wayside. Beautiful, clear evening, great crowd on hand here in Bethany. Griffin turns and gives to Mask, and he is going to slip down and lose 2 yards in the backfield. Yeah. Josh Lopez was all over the play anyway. Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered if he kept his feet.
Yeah, even if he stays on his feet, Josh Lopez is going to clean him up. So great play by Josh Lopez, and it looked like just a quick read, not a stunt there, but just a quick read, seeing all of those helmets of the offensive line shoot left and low. Josh Lopez able to read that and come downhill and make that play.
Marcus Sowell came off holding his hip a little bit. So just get that loose. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Griffin back to pass. Pressure up the middle from Landon Walker. Now DeMarcus Hawkins. Pass is tipped. And it falls incomplete. And right on cue, Landon Walker getting inside. Walker 5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks this season.
Yeah.
It'll be 3rd and 12.
You know, and SNU has almost enjoyed this second half comeback mentality. So it's interesting. You know, I think they might be a little bit of an advantage right now, having the lead and knowing what it's like to play a tough second half.
3 wide right, 1 left. 3rd and 12 for the Bulldogs. SNU showing blitz off the edge. Here they come. Griffin back to pass, looking down the sideline for Bailey. And Harris ushered him out of bounds. It falls incomplete. Yeah. And the Bulldogs will be forced to punt.
He had his inside receiver more open, but he goes to Bailey. Seems like his trusty wide receiver, the one he's targeted most today. But SNU, good coverage, good defense up front, no running lanes, and Swasu's punting this away.
Quick 3 and out for the Bulldogs. David Vargas on to punt, his 2nd punt of the night, averaging 36 yards per punt this season. Nice spiraling kick. He's going to chase roll-offs back to the 21 where he calls for the fair catch, and that's where SNU will take over 1st and 10 with 13:49 to go in the third quarter when we come back. This is SNU football brought to you by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. SNU offense out there for the first time in the second half, moving right to left with a 21-19 lead. Tisdale, the man in motion, and he is going to be grabbed in the backfield, and he's not going to escape the Bulldog defenders as big number 95 on the tackle for the Bulldogs. That's Shane Savage.
Those are the kind of tackles that make my knees hurt, Luke. The older I get, I can't watch someone bend like that and still keep running. I'd have crumbled. good effort by Tisdale to turn a 5-yard loss and just a 2-yard loss.
So it'll be 2nd and 13 from the 17-yard line. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right for Jarvis Davis. He's got Angel Ramirez to his left. He ushers him out of the backfield. Davis, quarterback draw the way. He slipped but kept his footing. Now he cuts upfield, skipped over the 20-yard line, and he actually gained 6 yards out to the 23.
Luke, you might have had a better angle on it, but it looked like his knee might have hit the ground on that one. Maybe we got away with one there. But those quarterback draws, SNU loves to run the draws, and when they're blocked well, you get 6 yards a pop. You got to love that. But SNU, with the negative first plays on a 3rd and 7, which is not their ideal situation.
2 wide either side. Ramirez is the back. Davis back to pass. Pocket collapses on him. He's going to be sacked. Fumble on the play. The Bulldogs say they have it, and they do, inside the 20-yard line. Nate Bernard, I believe, got the sack and got the fumble. And so the Bulldogs set up in prime field position inside the red zone with 12:26 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and it's worth saying that it did rain last night and the day before and some this morning. So that turf, even though it's been so nice out here this evening, the turf is still a little slippery, and that's 2 plays in a row. Jarvis Davis couldn't step up in the pocket, just slipped right on the grass.
So the Bulldogs come out 5 wide, 3 left, 2 right. Ball in the middle of the field. Griffin back to pass, looking for the fade route to Justice. It's incomplete. Good coverage out there by Dorian Harris.
Yeah, and he was going to Justice from the start. He didn't look anywhere else. 5 wide, you think they at least have kind of pushing the safety one direction, but he's going there all the way, and Harris sticking with him, getting a hand up right in the perfect time to make sure that's an incomplete pass.
Justice, 6'3", junior transfer from Abilene Christian, originally from Katy, Texas. He split out far to the left this time. Griffin over the middle. He's got his tight end. It's too high, and it's incomplete. And the tight end, Karsak, is now down in the end zone.
And, yeah, he just got hit right in the gut. He jumped up to go get that ball and didn't see Calhoun. I believe it was Calhoun on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Calhoun didn't even have to really lay a hit out there. He just kind of stood there.
Yeah, and
almost like he was setting a screen.
I know, yeah, taking the charge. But, yeah, I wonder. It looks like they're looking at his chest. I mean, he just took one right to the stomach. Landon Walker on that play, Luke, was getting held like, maybe the easiest holding call we've seen all day today, and no call. But I say that to say that we were talking about limited pressure, and there's pressure there. Their quarterback had to step to the side and kind of throw a pass that was higher and later than the scheme or the route concept, which made it a really challenging play for their tight end.
Karsak helped to his feet, seems to be, and he'll jog off. So I just had the wind knocked out of him, but good to see that he is all right. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs from the SNU 18-yard line. The Bulldogs in this position, courtesy of the Jarvis Davis sack and fumble just a few moments ago.
And already, started the second half. This is a really, really big 3rd down.
Just 1 wide receiver either side, 2 back set. Fullback to the left of Griffin. The give is to Heitch up the middle, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Mason Williams, the nose tackle that snowed under him and tripped him up right at the line of scrimmage. They officially will give him a loss of 1. And here comes the field goal unit with David Vargas.
And I guess they're thinking, well, we better try it. 4th and 10's too hard to convert, so we'll try to kick this field goal. He has not been stellar this evening.
Missed field goal from 34 yards away was wide left, and extra point was wide right. This is from 36, right in the middle of the field. Kick on the way, and this one is good. So Vargas, as there's some pushing and shoving at the end of the play there. So Vargas gives the Bulldogs the lead at 22-21 with 11:25 to go in the third quarter. Now there's a flag that's thrown.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be on SNU, and that's frustrating. You're just trying to get to the sideline, you know?
And there's been several just incidents between SNU players and the and they're going to flag number 25, Dylan Bauer, for that.
I think they meant to say 24. And Bauer was already at the sideline, seemed like, before that play. Talking
they're
to
not.
him.
Yeah, they're not going. It doesn't look like they're going to correct it. So maybe that was accurate. I'm not sure. But there have been a couple incidents between just the players and the refs themselves. You know, not even dealing with the SWASU players. So you wonder if SNU's just, you know, asking for, you know, a flag in a bit too strong of a way or something. I just. Either that or the flags are just coming so late after the altercation.
Yeah, you'd have to think that there's just probably just a little too much jawing down there on the field, and you know the officials can certainly flag you on that, especially if they've warned you a few times to cut it out. So,
and the tight end Karsak looked like he was heading back toward the locker room behind the visiting stands. Instead, looks like he decided that was too far a run. Is going to head to the facilities for the visiting fan section across the way. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, that's right.
So with a 15-yard penalty, SWASU's Whitefield will be kicking this off from midfield. And he will drive this through the end zone for the touchback. So SNU will start at their own 25-yard line with 11:24 to go in the third quarter. And Landry, this is new territory for SNU in a one-possession game. SNU's only other moments in the second half of a one-possession game were when they scored in the fourth quarter to draw within 30-23 of Arkansas Monticello in the season opener.
Yep.
And then had an opportunity to drive down. They got inside the Arkansas Monticello 40-yard line, but could not convert fourth down to keep the drive alive. But this is the second half where it's been tight. So it's a little bit of a new situation. Colby Entwistle out there at quarterback for the Crimson Storm here on this possession.
Yeah, and again, I don't think this is because Davis fumbled. I think it's because they like to see a different look with Entwistle.
Tisdale in motion. Entwistle running left. He's going to be taken down from behind. And that's number 93 for the Bulldogs, Ryan Pollard, the sophomore from Anadarko, coming off the backside, making the play for a loss of 1 back to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and Entwistle, probably should have handed that ball off this time. But when you're out there and you haven't got many reps, you want to make something happen. He just needs to be patient in there and run the offense like he does in practice.
3 wide receivers left. 1 to the right. And Zach Cizik moved at the left guard spot. They didn't call it, and then looked like Reed Roloffs moved on the outside. So we got a false start on SNU. So that'll make it 2nd and 16.
Yeah, and you put a new quarterback in, sometimes this will happen. I'm not saying it's his fault. It looked like Cizik did get a little.
He definitely got away with that one.
Yeah. But these things can tend to happen when you're just changing up small things, just rhythm things that you're used to hearing the cadence of the quarterback before. Just small little things like that. So Entwistle's in a tough position here.
He's back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Fires a slant. He's looking for Fellows. Defender all over him. And a late flag, but the correct flag.
Yes, it was a great athletic play by the linebacker to hit that ball out of the air, but to use the wide receiver as an elevator, an elevator as such, is indeed a pass interference.
Ashton Hamby, the guilty party, the freshman from Dayton, Texas. He's one of those guys, some of his first action of the season being forced into action because of those injuries in the linebacking core this evening. But that 15-yard penalty will give SNU a reprieve and move it up to the 34-yard line where it will be 1st and 10 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, and a breath of fresh air for Entwistle as he continues this drive. Unsure where maybe the ball is spotted.
The line judge saying it should be the 36. The line of scrimmage was the 19. So it's 6-on-1 here.
Yeah.
Refs in the ref count, and the 6 went out over the line judge. So the ball is spotted at the 34, 1st and 10. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Fellows in motion to the top of the formation. The Entwistle hands it off to Ramirez, bounces outside, 40, cuts inside of the 45, across midfield, he's still going, 40, 35, finally pushed out of bounds by the Bulldogs, Javatrick Daughtry, but a big run from Angel Ramirez and great vision by the sophomore running back.
Just so patient inside the tackle boxes. He's just waiting, trying to find a hole. And then, Luke, I got to bring it up again. You see Reed Roloffs out there, wide receiver blocking downfield. Man, that's what springs it from a really great 8-yard, 9-yard play to a 30-yard gain. Just tremendous blocking all the way around.
10 seconds on the play clock as SNU comes to the line of scrimmage. A little bit slow getting the call in.
You got to make sure his wide receivers are set.
Shellmeyer in motion up top. Flag comes in, and Entwistle is swarmed in the backfield for a loss of 4. And that one seemed doomed from the get-go.
Yeah, and, you're just not used to being patient enough to get those wide receivers set. It looked like it'd be a legal formation on Crimson Storm, sending the guy in motion while people aren't set.
So the Bulldogs are going to decline the penalty. So it'll be 2nd and 13.
Yeah, now they're looking for the spot.
Now they're looking for who. Wait, yeah.
I think this line judge closest to us.
So they're going to give it the 34. So officially a loss of 3 on the play. So 2nd and 13. Entwistle still the quarterback, wide receiver either side. Fellows shifting to the left. They give it to Ramirez, running right, trying to get free of some defenders in the backfield. He'll fall forward back to the line of scrimmage, but Orlando Brown was there for the tackle. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 13 for SNU.
Ryan Reed, his long is 46. Is that right?
For the season, it is 41. Would have to check his career long. I believe his career long is 45.
You just play this like 2-down territory right here.
Agreed. Unless you get down to around the 25-yard line, maybe you send him out there.
Yeah.
Entwistle's back to pass on 3rd and 13. Shifts to his right. Finds Alvarado, but a nice play by Bernard, the defensive end, coming across to knock that pass away as Alvarado had leaked out down the field. So it'll be 4th and 13, but a huge athletic play by the defensive end.
Yeah, really is. And Entwistle right there just has to be a little disciplined to set his feet, and a throw back across your body, even if it is a defensive end, is usually ill-advised. So you want to throw towards the out of bounds where it's harder for the defender to make a play on the ball, especially if you're running towards the out of bounds. Use your momentum that's already working to that side to throw the ball out there.
So Ryan Reed's on to punt this as Dustin Hayden going field position, and Reed gets off a squabbly end over end. It bounces at the 15.
There it goes.
Takes an SNU bounce. It'll go down to the 12-yard line. So a net 22 gain in field position for SNU. And that's where the Bulldogs will take over inside their own 15-yard line. So the big run from Angel Ramirez does not result in points for the Crimson Storm.
No.
But with 8:20 to go in the third quarter, the deficit remains 1 as the Bulldogs come back out on offense.
Yeah, and it seems like Dylan Bauer is, doesn't have his helmet with him. It looks like he's done for the night. I'm not sure why that is. Could be an injury of some kind, but
2 wide either side. James Love showing blitz off the edge. He backs out. 13 on the play clock. Griffin turns and gives to Heiss running right side. He's going to be taken down by Love up at the 18-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain on first down for Heiss.
Yeah, and it looks like they're getting set up to run the same or similar play back towards the other side.
And then you got a false start on the left side of the SWOSU offensive line. Both the left tackle, Sanchez, and the left guard, Scroggins, both jumping. So negate the 5-yard gain on first down, and we'll do it again second and a long 9 on second down. I'll
give it to the guard and tackle there. Their footwork was impeccable.
It was. They were right in sync as well.
Yes, that's what you want. So SWOSU, offensive coordinator, you can be pleased about that.
3 wide right, 1 to left. Griffin back to pass, looking down the far sideline, and it's going to be knocked away by Dorian Harris. Great coverage there by Harris as they were looking for Patrick Lee, and Harris got his helmet right in between Lee's arms and then ripped the hands through to knock that one away.
Yeah, and he's getting quite a few words from the SWOSU bench over there, maybe giving a few back to them as well. But he's played really, really well. Tremendous tonight. I mean, he's by far been the best defensive player in coverage.
3rd and 9 for the Bulldogs. Griffin back to pass, blitz coming up the middle, looking on the slot fade down the sideline, and it's incomplete as he overshot his man, Deshaun Moreau. And SNU forces the punt. And a nice job by the defense.
Tremendous. Yeah, SWOSU seems a little stuck in the mud after that first drive that got him the field goal. They've been really unable to run the ball effectively, and just wide receiver quarterback connection has seemed a little off.
Vargas will stand on his own goal line to punt this one away. Reed Roloff standing just on the SNU side of midfield. Vargas, a nice spiraling kick. And Roloff lets it bounce at the 36. And a nice job there by Justin Mason to go up high to snag that one.
Yes.
Because that took a high bounce, and that was going SNU's way if he didn't get that. There is a flag down at the 37-yard line thrown by the field judge. And we'll see what this one's about with 7:18 to go in the third quarter. So they're going to tag SNU's Holden Hill with the holding. And so that'll march it inside the 30-yard line down, and SNU will start at their own 24-yard line with 7:18 to go third quarter, leading or trailing by 1, 22-21. SNU offense averaging 4.2 yards per play. And Landry officially here in the second half. SWOSU just 3 yards of offense in 3 times with the ball. Davis, bubble out to Roloff, spins away from the block, and he got out to the 29-yard line. A great pickup on first down of 5 yards.
Hit him with the okey doke, making something out of nothing. I said it right this time.
Reed, he's 6'5", but he really does have some deceptive speed and quickness for a long, lanky guy.
The one thing I like about Reed is when he runs, he gets real low. Doesn't run up high. You know, it seems a little counterintuitive, but in football you don't want to run high. You just have a bigger target for someone to hit you right in the chest. But he spins out of that, and he just stays low and kind of able to bounce off contact.
2nd and 4 from the 30-yard line. Diamond formation. Davis just gets the play off in time. And he's going to be sacked as he was looking for Perez on the seam route. But Richard Silva came in off the edge and took down Davis for the sack back at the 24-yard line. So the loss of 6 wipes out the gain on first down, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and just lots of pressure being given to Davis tonight. He's not been able to really sit back in the pocket like he prefers to do, and I mean any quarterback really prefers to do. But in particular, he likes to step up, and that just hasn't been there tonight. And just the short passes, but when you get sacked, it's hard to throw a hitch route for 5 yards for a first down.
3 on the play clock as Davis takes the snap, back to pass. Pressure comes. He escapes, fires it down the sideline looking for Perez, but it's out of bounds and incomplete. Davis got decked again. There is a flag thrown at the 23-yard line.
I'd be shocked if this isn't a late hit. He seemed to get hit. I mean, he released that ball, and then the ball seemed to hit the ground, and then he hit the ground.
And it is going to be roughing the passer on the Bulldogs. So that's the second time the Bulldogs have given SNU a first down on defense here in the second half. Let's see if the Crimson Storm can make them pay this time. 5:38 to go, third quarter. Southwestern leading Southern Nazarene 22-21. The spotlight on Bethany tonight in Division II football, the only game in the entire country tonight in Division II. It's been an entertaining game thus far.
Certainly
very evenly played both ways. Wide receiver either side. Roll-offs in motion to the top of the formation. They give it. Nope, Davis keeps it around the right side, and he will gain 6 up to the 45-yard line. So a great gain on first down for the Crimson Storm sophomore.
And I think this is, they've been really pleased with the Entwistle, and they think he has a bright future, and they just love his toughness. But Davis has just not that we're trying to say one is better than the other, but this is where he has a leg up. It's just his reads are a little more comfortable. He's able to see that end play and the outside linebacker as well, and he's able to get 6 yards on first down.
Diamond formation. The give is to Roloffs, running on the outside. He's got the corner, spins at midfield, making mid-miss, hurdles over a man to the 42-yard line. And Reed Roloffs, back from injury, fired up toward the SNU sidelines.
That's right, 2 spins in a row.
Exchanging a little hip wiggle with defensive coordinator Adam Langvart over there. So a big gain of 13 yards for Roloffs. Gives the Crimson Storm a first down at the 42-yard line of Southwestern. And back to your comment earlier, Landry, Entwistle wasn't around for the spring season because he was busy being an all-conference guy in baseball. And, to be frank, not sure how much he got in the fall as well. So Davis just much more experienced. Davis cuts it upfield, just tripped up from behind by Devontrick Daughtry. And just a gain of 2, but Davis had a hole.
The lane was there, and it was wide open. I mean, he had one man to beat for the end zone. I mean, and those are frustrating. He's running, and he sees that lane, and then all of a sudden he's right face down in the turf. But the holes are opening up. We talked about this at halftime. The run game needs to pick up, and certainly Swass is looking a little worn down this second half.
3:40 to go, third quarter. Davis keeps it up the middle again, tripped up by Monroe. But it's a gain of 4 down to the 36-yard line, makes it a manageable 3rd and 4 here for the Crimson Storm.
You think this is the best he's been on mesh points this season?
He does look more decisive for sure, and I feel like he's hitting it a little bit harder too, not as maybe kind of easing into it, if you will.
Yep.
I feel like he's hitting it a lot faster than he has at any point thus far this season. Roloffs and Sanders to the top of the formation. Alvarado now shifts to the right side. Ball on the left hash. Davis running right, trying to get back there, but he's absolutely clobbered by Orlando Brown. It's a loss of 3 back to the 39-yard line. And Davis seems a little slow and wobbly, and Dustin Hayden furious there's not helmet-to-helmet flag there.
Yeah, and
Davis is limping a little bit.
You're going to take a timeout here.
Yeah, and Dustin Hayden absolutely livid right now as Davis just went down at midfield. His offensive linemen help him up, and he is he is absolutely woozy out there right now. And the trainer having to lay him back down at the midfield logo.
Yeah, which is, protocol for that. Any kind of what they might consider head injury, it's hard to tell what's bothering him at this moment. You get hit that hard, it can be a number of things. And that's some of the danger with leaving your feet. You're just more susceptible to the full contact of someone because you don't have that plant or pivot. He's ready to get up. I don't know if the trainer's ready for him too, but
he's limping as well. He's trying to walk to the sideline, and he'll definitely get checked out over there.
Yeah, certainly.
He's limping pretty good on that right leg. But one thing we've seen from Davis, he's very tough.
Yeah,
he's taken
absolutely.
Quite a bit of hits.
You got to be tough
season.
to play quarterback at SNU, and that's not because they can't block. It's because you got to be ready to run the football.
So Ryan Reed will punt this away on 4th and 7. Bailey standing inside the 10-yard line. Reed, high end over end kick. It's a good one. Bailey has to call for a fair catch. He muffed it. It's loose, and SNU's got it. A flag, if a flag is thrown, I wonder if it meant to throw the flag or if he threw the bean bag.
Yeah,
it looks like there might have been contact.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I saw the bean bag be thrown. I think this is going to be SWASU's football and probably should be. Looks like they might talk about it. SNU football has just been thrown in from the sideline. That doesn't mean much, but
the SNU defense is heading out there, and the SWASU offense is huddled on the far side. And they will call kick-catch interference on SNU, so the 15-yard penalty will help the cause for the Bulldogs. It will still be inside the 20-yard line. So they'll spot this 1st and 10 for Southwestern.
Yeah, and it just seemed like the right call.
Yes.
The fair catch, I mean, if you want to make an argument for it, the fair catch was thrown up late.
Very late.
But you have to let the guy catch the ball, and it didn't seem like, I can't remember who on SNU bumped into him. Definitely wasn't malicious, but.
1st and 10 on the 18. Griffin back to pass. Looking for Bailey on the outside. He's got his man. It's Bailey. It was a one-receiver route, a pump and go that didn't really happen, but it's still a pickup of 21 out to the 39-yard line.
Like we've talked about it, SWASU wants to hit it deep. That was kind of their first attempt at a double move tonight, and they try to hit the pump and go, and there's just nothing there. I mean, they're lucky that they got the first down because the wide receiver came back to the football.
1st and 10 from the 39. The give is to Palmer, who's back in the game, and he'll pick up 4 out to the 43-yard line. So good to see Gerald Palmer back in the game for the Bulldogs and not with a lasting injury. He checks out as Jermaine Mask comes back in. It'll be 2nd and 6. 1:12 to go, third quarter. A Bulldogs field goal, the only points thus far in the third period. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Griffin calls Bailey in motion. He's got it. Back to pass. He's got time. Throws it out, and it's going to be intercepted. Oh, no, they call it incomplete. Dorian Harris, full layout, nearly had the pick on the sideline. He can't believe it. Both officials on the far side say incomplete.
Oh, man, and both of them said it so quickly that it must have been obvious, but from our angle, man, it just looked like a heck of a play.
My goodness gracious. And Griffin missed his tight end Karsak very badly.
Well, I think
on that one.
I think he was aiming for the higher route, but number 12, but he fell to the ground. So that's what gave the opportunity for the pick.
3rd and 6. Two wide receivers either side in tight. Garrett, the man in motion to the left. Griffin looking that way to him, and it's incomplete.
Yeah.
Good pressure up the middle by the Crimson Storm defense. Trent Smith was in coverage anyway. That wasn't going to be successful regardless. And the Crimson Storm, one big play and then 3 quick downs, and the Bulldogs will punt again.
You know, that must be Swassu's bread and butter play because they haven't really played Garrett all that much this second half, which is a little surprising. And he just runs a quick out, and with his speed, I think they're thinking, well, if we can get him on a linebacker, maybe we get a first down here, but nothing doing. Really, really well covered, and a poor throw.
46 seconds to go in the quarter. Low snap. Vargas handles it and sends a wobbly end-over-end kick to Reed. Roll-offs at the 20. Makes a man miss, cuts up field. Bounces outside, and he drags tacklers all the way up to the 34-yard line. A great return there for Reed Roll-offs. His 3rd return of the season. We've got an injured Bulldog on the play with 33 seconds to go in the quarter. And he's up and walking off. That's the cornerback, Donovan Jemerson. So he'll head to the sideline. We'll see if looks like Jarvis Davis is going to be coming back out at quarterback here.
Yeah, and I think you just stick with Davis at this point, near in the fourth quarter.
Agreed.
And Entwistle, he, especially that second drive, he played well and he was getting more comfortable. But I think Davis in particular this half has, other than that fumble on the first drive, he's looked pretty solid, and they just need to finish a drive here. They're getting down to the 30 and having to punt.
Davis gives to Ramirez. Makes a man miss in the hole, and he'll cross the 40-yard line all the way up to the 42-yard line. Big gain of 8 for Angel Ramirez on first down.
Yeah, 2 jump cuts, and all of a sudden he's 8 yards down the field.
And it looks like Dustin Hayden's going to let the clock run out here in the third quarter. So we'll head to the fourth. Southwestern clinging to a 1-point lead over Southern Nazarene, 22-21. We'll take a break and be back with the final stanza. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
At SNU, we recognize the sacrifices made by our nation's veterans and their families. Whether you're looking to move up in the ranks or start a new career, we have degree options and support systems in place that will help you find success during and after college. SNU has a team dedicated to helping you make the most of your VA benefits for education and the post 9/11 GI Bill. Together, we'll find the academic support you need and connect you to support groups in your local community, whether you study on campus or online. Going back to school can be a streamlined, rewarding process. Let us show you how. To learn more, visit pgs.snu.edu/veterans.
Fourth quarter time here in Bethany. We've got a one-possession game as we enter the final 15 minutes. 2nd and 2 for the Crimson Storm, moving left to right in the final stanza. The give to Ramirez up the middle and spinning across the line of scrimmage to the 43-yard line. And Joey Carrion, the center, is down on the turf. He was injured last week at Harding. So hopefully this is not a re-aggravation of that injury.
Yeah. He's played well this season.
And they're working on that right leg. And I believe that was the leg that he injured a week ago.
Yeah, and that's tough on a short 3rd and 1. Your center's out. So no matter what, he's got to come out this play, even if he gets up and pops up and he's doing all right. get some practice snaps in there. But it looks like
some of the backup linemen coming on to
that's right.
help walk him off the field. Landry, just a quick moment while we've got a second here. The SNU defense, how about it? 13 plays, 29 yards for Southwestern, and 21 of them came on one pass.
Yeah.
So you look at it, 11 play or 12 plays for 8 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's good defense.
Yeah, no, they've played well. They played about as good as we've seen them play in the second half, and typically they play very well in the second half, and so the offense. I mean, at this point, it's like if the offense can just kick a field goal or score one touchdown, you think the game is pretty much over, But they got to get in the end
feeling good
zone.
about it.
Yeah, and your center just goes out, so.
Not
certainly
feeling good about that.
No, not on a 3rd and 1, but they've had some center issues before, so this is not new territory. But you're just hoping for a decent snap here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to get to the quarterback.
So Braden Jones slides over from right guard. The give is to Ramirez. He is bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Second effort's not going to get there either as a host of Bulldogs take him down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and 1 from the 43-yard line.
And no question they're going for it, at least to get them to jump off side, so you just got to be disciplined here. Bunch formation. Quarterback sneak, here it comes.
And it looks like he got the push, maybe. No, the line judge on the far side not giving him anything.
Yeah. It looked like, I'm standing right over the line of scrimmage, and it looked like he stuck the ball out. But they're going to give it to Swasu here.
Yep, they gave him absolutely nothing. Looked like he definitely got farther than the line of scrimmage. Whether he got all the way to the 44, you could convince me he didn't for sure, but certainly did not get a favorable spot there.
I think that's the right play call, though. It's unfortunate that they didn't convert the first down, but I think that's what you got to do. Swasu has not, at the very least, their kicking has been not great, and they haven't been able to move the football. And so you do trust your defense in situations like that.
Palmer running right, barrels through a couple Crimson Storm defenders down to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, running hard.
So that's a gain of 5 on first down for Palmer, the redshirt freshman from Paris, Texas. 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. Plenty of time here, 13:35 to go in the football game. Wide receiver to either side for Southwestern. And now a false start here on the Bulldogs is going to move things back 5 yards and make it 2nd and 10.
A little undisciplined from Southwestern here in the second half offensively.
Well, in Landry, it's interesting how their personnel groupings are interesting. Right now, their wide receivers are Patrick Lee and Kellen Smith, who have a combined 4 catches this season. I believe Lee has one tonight, so a combined 5 catches, all by Lee.
Yeah,
there's no other wide receivers out there who are on, from a stats perspective, a threat. It's almost like they're about to run this, and they are here with Palmer running left. Tries to cut it outside, and he's chopped down by Trent Smith. Eli Calhoun finished the job. It's a gain of 1 to the 42, and just like that, it's 3rd and 9.
Big tackle by Calhoun there, coming from the safety position to meet them at the line of scrimmage. You'll take that all day. And, okay, here we go. Now we have an almost near complete skill position change from Southwestern. I wonder if they're going to pass.
3 wide to the right. 1 to the left is Lee. Heisch is the running back. Griffin back to pass. Pressure up the middle, looking outside for Lee. Knocked away by Josh Johnson. A tremendous defensive play by the sophomore from Borger.
And I think the officials have done a really good job of just letting them play. Both sides, I think there's only been 1 pass interference all game. And they've just said if it's too hard to tell, we're not going to make a decision for everyone. We're just going to let the game keep going. But Josh Johnson just in a tremendous position to make the play on the comeback, which comeback seems like an easy route to break on, but if you're getting pushed backwards and then you got to put your foot in the ground, it's hard to come down on it, but he played really well.
The Bulldogs will punt. Vargas sends it end over end. It's a good one. Roloffs will field it at the 13. He takes off with it, did not call for fair catch, and he'll get it all the way up to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Reed Roloffs looks like a new player out there. I mean, it's probably because he got I know he's injured, but a couple weeks off has done him some good. He's playing with some effort.
We'll take a break. SNU still trails by 1, but we'll be back after this. This is SNU Football brought to you by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is a smile. I want to give the guests a little encouragement, maybe just a little joke that makes them laugh when they come through the drive-thru. We can stay 6 feet apart and have the best air high five.
Welcome back to SNU Football Stadium. The Crimson Storm trail Southwestern by 1. But with the football moving left to right, 3 wide receivers to the right, 12:09 to play. Davis bubbles it out to Reed Roloffs. He's got blockers out there. 35, 40, stiff arms a man to the ground and has a stare to finish off the play, and Reed Roloffs all the way out to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, get the ball to him. Keep giving him the ball.
Feed the big man.
That's right.
19 yards on that one, and tremendous blocking out there by Angel Ramirez.
Yeah.
Dustin Hayden mentioned it to us a couple weeks ago. Those running backs, they might not get 20 carries a game, but they love to block, and they do it well. 2 wide receivers left. Perez gets the carry in the backfield. No, it's Davis who kept it. He lost a shoe, and he's out of bounds. No, he didn't lose a shoe. His cleats are just that flashy. I thought that was just his foot.
Well, I think we got a new quarterback in here right now. He just can't run. On that play that he got injured, his ankle just must have been tangled up on because he had nothing but green grass. I mean, he still got 12 yards on the carry, but his ankle just can't hold up right now. I don't know if he's going to try to loosen it up a little bit on the sidelines or if they're just going to say, get some rest, young fella.
Imagine he'd be hard-pressed to keep him out the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
1st and 10 from the SWASU 46. Entwistle in at quarterback. The give is to Ramirez. Cuts through up the middle across the 40 and down to the 38-yard line. A gain of 8 on 1st down. And Landry SNU starting to lean on this Bulldogs defense a little bit. And even with Davis out, might just lean up the middle even more with Ramirez here.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, they're worn out. They've played triple the amount of plays their offense has.
Entwistle a little bit behind roll-offs on that one. They're going to rule it an incomplete pass, so it'll be 3rd and 2. This borderline there. Good coverage there by Landis Morris coming down and making a play, the sophomore from Jinx. So 3rd and 2 from the Bulldogs' 38-yard line. 10:15 to play. Southwestern leads 22-21. SNU held scoreless thus far in the second half. The Bulldogs just a single field goal to show for it. Alvarado to the right side. And now a flag comes in.
And Hayden really wants it on the defense. I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell either. The linesmen seem to be in agreement. They're going to give a false start to the Crimson Storm. So that'll make it 3rd and 7. Much more different situation here than 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and each drive, they're getting past the 50. Things seem to be rolling. All of a sudden, man, a penalty drives them back, or they're not able to convert a 3rd and short, and then a 4th and short, and you can taste the points. They're just right there, but they're unable to finish these drives.
3rd and 7. 2 wide right, 1 to the left. Entwistle is the quarterback. He's back to pass. Swings it out to Perez, who wasn't looking for the ball. And it's going to be 4th down.
I think right here you punted.
And Jarvis Davis hobbling back onto the field here on 4th and 7.
You probably trust his arm, even if the pocket's crumbling. You know, he's not going to be able to run for a first down more than likely, but maybe you trust just his decision-making on this 4th and 7.
Pressure on the O-line here to keep the pocket solid as well.
Looks like SWASU's ready to send a couple extra guys.
Davis is back to pass. They back off. Finds a wide-open Tisdale on the sideline for the first down, and Tisdale breaks free. 35, down inside the 20-yard line.
Man, you got to feel like a sigh of relief if you're an SNU fan. You finally break past the 30-yard line this half. You're in field goal range.
And Davis will hobble back off, Entwistle back in, and Tisdale will run off. Looks like he needs a little quick look of attention. But what a strong throw from the near hash all the way to the sideline by Davis.
And, man, can we talk about Tisdale just for a second? He's played so well tonight, last couple weeks in particular. He just seems to be the guy when you need a big play.
So Entwistle, the quarterback, 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. He'll take it up the middle into the teeth of the defense. Spun away, stutter stepped. He's got a couple down to the 14-yard line. So a gain of 3 for Entwistle. Play that looked like it wasn't going anywhere. Then the quick spin gave him just enough to find a little crease.
Yeah, and it looks like he's maybe hitting that hole a little early, not letting the play develop, but able to slow down at the line of scrimmage and kind of spin for an extra couple yards.
2nd and 7. You're definitely in field goal range at this point with 8:45 to go. Entwistle bubbles it out to Roloffs. Great blocking outside. Inside the 10. Inside the 5. He dives, but he's going to be marked short at the 1. Orlando Brown came flying in along with Xavier Mathis to helicopter Roloff short of the goal line. But it's 1st and goal at the 1 for the Crimson Storm.
That's right. And Aaron Fellows gets away with a hold there, but we'll take it being 1st and goal.
Entwistle gives to Ramirez a late handoff in the middle, and Ramirez is going to be stoned short of the line to gain. The officials said there was a fumble on the play, but the officials are going to mark him down.
As they should. Forward progress was stopped well before. Now they're going to talk about it. I mean, if this is given to...
The line judge couldn't see anything from over there.
There's no way. Looks like he's going to stay with SNU.
Yep, so they're going to mark him down, so it'll be 2nd and goal at the 3. Official winds the clock. 7:50 to play and counting. 2nd and goal from the 3. Now the Bulldogs are going to need timeout.
Yeah, timeout really for the SWASU coach to
calm down.
Yeah.
Colin McQuillan, the defensive coordinator over there on the far side, not pleased. But we'll take timeout with them. 7:46 to play. The Crimson Storm knocking on the door. We'll be back after this. This is SNU football.
Introducing Domino's new 2-minute guarantee. Order Domino's car-side delivery. Check in when you arrive, and we'll be headed out the door less than 2 minutes after it's ready, or your next pizza is free. Nothing will stop us from getting out the door fast. Rain, snow, wind, and wild animals. Carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 and put our 2-minute guarantee.
Second and goal for the Crimson Storm offense from the 3-yard line, trailing by 1 with under 8 minutes to play here in Bethany. Both Southwestern and Southern Nazarene looking for their first win of the season. Colby Entwistle at quarterback. Jarvis Davis hobbled, but has gutted it out on a couple key plays here in the fourth quarter, including the 4th and 8 conversion a moment ago. Official winds the play clock. 1 wide receiver left, 2 to the right. Ramirez the back beside Entwistle. Sanders coming in motion, and a false start. Going to be called on SNU.
Yeah, this is what a line that has had injury after injury the last couple weeks. This is the result. Just out of sync with one another, and it's hard to hop back in sometimes, especially with an injury late in the game like we had tonight.
So now 2nd and goal from the 8. Sanders again coming in motion. The give is to Ramirez. Up the middle, he finds space, and he scores! Touchdown, Crimson Storm!
And I think you go for 2 here. That seems to make the most sense.
And they are. Dustin Hayden holding up the 2 on the sideline.
Luke, you ever notice that the go for 2 sign is never the traditional kind of peace sign go for 2, but it's the hook 'em horns go for 2. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's easier to see, but maybe the first coach who did that was a Texas fan. I don't know.
Maybe so. Kenneth West talking with Dustin Hayden right now as they get to the line of scrimmage. 8 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry. Entwistle has it. Back to pass. Fires a slant. And it's caught!
He was in the end zone. No.
They called him short. Alvarado caught it in the end zone.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
He was standing on the goal line, and the line judge on the near side called it short.
Yeah, and it's hard for that line judge to see, his back's to him, but if that ball is, if his feet are in the end zone, you just have to assume the ball has crossed the plane.
Man, that's a brutal break there. But 7:39 to go. You have the lead once more, 27-22. And just a quick update. SNU in the second half has given up just 34 yards on 16 plays. The defense has been outstanding here in the second half. And remember, SWASU had 1st and 10 after the Jarvis Davis fumble at the SNU 18-yard line and just came away with a single field goal. And that's their only points of the second half. And again, 34 yards on 16 plays.
Yeah, and they've, it's been interesting. They've been very conservative. Like that they're, this is a team that hasn't run the ball well really all year, and they must be seeing something that they like in the run game. But you would think that there might be a little bit of aggression, but they've been very conservative and not wanting to give the ball back, but it's forced them into 3 and outs quickly.
Ray Blatnick on to send this one away. Talon Garrett back deep to receive. High and over end kick. Going to land at the 12. It gets by Garrett.
And he touched it.
He did. So the Bulldogs are going to take
No. No, he touched the ball.
So the line judge threw the flag to say that Garrett touched it standing out of bounds. It looked to us like Garrett touched it when the ball bounced.
Yeah, that's sure. I mean, and that would be the white hat who has the back end zone view. He should be saying, "No, I saw him touch it."
Oh, this is going to be huge. Oh, and
first down. The flag would be waved off, yeah.
So no kick out of bounds. Garrett touched it when the ball bounced. So it'll be 1st and 10, Southwestern at the 5-yard line.
Luke, that random obscure penalty would have such a impact 2 times.
Twice. Yeah, 2 times. Definitely not to maybe... certainly not decide the game. There's still 7.5 minutes left. Got plenty of time here for a lot to happen.
Yeah, but this is a 30-yard swing for SWOSU.
Yes, it's huge. One wide receiver either side. Mask is the running back. Bailey in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. He slips down at the 2.
Even if he doesn't slip down, there's not much room for him to go other than just towards the sidelines. Nothing upfield. All the holes covered there.
So 2nd and 13 now for the Bulldogs at the 2-yard line.
And if you're SWOSU, this is the pickle that you're in, right? You almost don't want to pass because if you get a penalty in the end zone, it's a safety, and then they get the 2-point conversion. SNU gets a 2-point conversion
and the ball.
Yeah, and the ball.
Griffin. Quick slant. And and it's dropped. The interception dropped by Josh Johnson. Justin Bailey slipped in his route.
Oh, man.
And Josh Johnson dropped an interception that could have been a pick 6.
Yes.
Just given his speed. Oh, man.
Yes, and if you are the secondary coach right now, you are yelling from the sidelines, don't get beat deep, right? You're telling your safeties to be smart, to make sure you're watching your man, because you can't get beat on anything right here. You got to keep the ball in front of those down markers.
3rd and 13. They just turn and give it to the running back. And he is taken down at the line of scrimmage. Mask might have gotten 1. And now the Bulldogs are going to have to punt from their end zone.
Luke, what do you do right here? Now, my rule of thumb is if you're inside, like if they're punting from the end zone, you send it. But you have the lead.
I think you play it safe. You don't want to. SNU picked up a roughing the punter penalty a week ago.
And those can be just demoralizing, for obvious reasons. But the temptation is, what if we get it? Then the game's out of reach.
Vargas standing at the back line. He'll send it away. Roloff's going to fair catch it at the SWOSU 45-yard line. So a 41-yard punt, no return. So with 6:10 to play, Colby Entwistle, the freshman from Edmond, attempting to lead SNU on what could be a game-clinching drive. SNU leads 27-22, 6:10 to play. Here on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel and Crossover Radio Sports, presented by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. SNU will have it 1st and 10 from the Southwestern 46-yard line.
Yeah, and the temptation here, you have a young quarterback. You don't have that much time left. You have the lead. It's easy to think, okay, let's just run it and run the clock down. But you want to get so far away from your offense that you're quickly punting again.
Entwistle motions roll-offs. He gives it to Shellmeyer, picking his way across the 40-yard line. A big gain of 9 on 1st down for Christian Shellmeyer.
And maybe you do just want to run it every play, Luke. I don't know.
If you get 9 at pop, you run it too fast.
Yeah, we see kind of Entwistle. We've talked a little bit about him hopping in here, being new to this offense. He goes to motion the outside receiver closest to us, the X receiver, and Reed Roloff's the veteran. Looks at him and says,
"That's me."
Yeah,
I'm in motion.
Wrong motion.
Roloff's in motion, 5.5 to go. Entwistle keeps it up the middle, spin move. He's got the 1st down to the 32-yard line, taken down by Devatrick Daughtry. But a 1st down for the Crimson Storm, and the clock rolls, 5:15 to play.
Yeah, and
Jaron Alvarado's slow to get up.
And that's okay. Yeah, he's cramping out there, and he just needs to be able to get to the sideline, and then he can rest. You want that clock to keep rolling.
20 on the play clock.
You can see Entwistle maturing out there. That was by far his best read and mesh. And the defense just banking on Reed getting the ball, and he runs right up the middle for the 1st down.
5 on the play clock. And SNU's going to burn a timeout with 4:42 to play. 27-22, the Crimson Storm lead. Will take timeout with them and be back after this. This is SNU Football, brought to you by Edmond Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Welcome back to SNU Football Stadium. Or under 5 minutes to play. SNU leading this one 27-22 over Southwestern Oklahoma State. 1st and 10 for the Crimson Storm from the 32-yard line. Roloff's the man in motion. The give is to Shellmeyer up the middle. Big hole up the middle. Cuts it against the green and just tripped up at the 19-yard line. 13 yards for Shellmeyer. And the SNU offensive line starting to have their way up front.
Yes, SWASU looks worn out, and I can't blame them. I mean, they've played well above their average in the second half, and their offense has not been able to produce anything. They've just been on the field for so long. It's hard to get ready for every play when you've played 10 in a row and you're feeling exhausted.
9-minute difference time of possession thus far. It's only going to get worse from here. 2 wide receivers to the right. Roloffs goes in motion to the right. The give is to Shellmeyer again. This time just a gain of 1 on first down. Brought down by Broderick Anderson right in the middle of that defensive line. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, and if you're SNU, you're thinking touchdown here. Yes, you want to run time off the clock. Field goal is good.
But it's still a one-possession game there.
Right, you score a touchdown. That's all she wrote.
A final from Claremore. Rogers State knocks off SNU 2-0 in men's soccer, so the Crimson Storm suffer their first conference defeat of the season. Still in first place by a game on everybody. Entwistle has the snap go through his hands, and he wisely falls on it back at the 28-yard line. But a loss of 10 there on 2nd down will now bring up 3rd down and 19.
You know, it's interesting, SWASU not taking a timeout there. Let the clock keep running. I guess they won all 3 timeouts for
I would imagine they'll probably take one here on 3rd down. But, yeah, this is kind of a gift here. You can run this down to about 2:30 before you take a snap. SNU has 1 timeout remaining.
They're not going to get this play off. Just got to snap it.
And they got it in time. Entwistle. Wheel route to Fellows, but he slipped looking for the ball. And a pile of bodies ended up in Entwistle's lap. So SWASU gets the incomplete pass to stop the clock. It's 4th down from the 28-yard line. 19 yards to go. It would be a 45-yard field goal from here.
Yeah, let's.
And they're going to send out Ryan Reed.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, he's your veteran kicker. Give him a chance.
This would make it a full 1-possession game.
Looks like, yeah.
SNU's going to have to hurry here with 5 on the play clock. Snap, hold, kick. It's on the way. It has the distance. It is good! And Ryan Reed, the 45-yard field goal, gives SNU an 8-point lead with 2:20 to play, and the SNU sideline erupts.
Yeah, it's not every day you see a head coach run out to midfield to give a shoulder bump to your 6'6" kicker.
Yeah, so I say to your kicker who who is about at least half a foot taller than you and outweighs you by probably 50 pounds.
Yeah, man, Ryan Reed with certainly the biggest kick of his career. There's no question.
Still technically a 1-possession game, but obviously the most difficult 1-possession game you can have at an 8-point margin. And given SWASU's lack of offensive production in the second half, you got to feel good about what the defense has done. They need one more stop.
Yeah, and it starts right here with this kickoff because – it's just easy after big plays to have mental lapses where you're just your emotions are so revved up about a play that you make mistakes. And so what you're telling them right now, this kickoff team say, hey, just slow down, make a tackle. Doesn't have to be pretty, just make a tackle.
Blatnick sends it away. We're going to have a false start on SNU, and Blatnick blasted into the end zone. I believe that might be his first touchback of the season, but we've got a false start here on SNU. And
it'll be on Josh Lopez. He was just jumping the gun just a little bit.
Are we surprised it was Josh Lopez?
No.
Too much
energy.
How much energy and how much hype he brings from that middle linebacker spot. It's not surprising in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way that he would be too excited to get down the field and make that tackle.
That's right. Yeah,
so we'll back it up 5 yards and do it again.
Yeah. I think they have the option. Is that right?
I believe they do have the option, but given Garrett's abilities, I would make him re-kick it too, especially since Blatnick has not had a lot of touchbacks. Again, I think that might have been his first of the season. I'd have to double check. And since I do have notes in front of me, I can double check. How about that?
There you go. You think at this point that maybe you do pooch kick it here to the tight end, but it looks like he's going to drive it deep.
He does, and he got a good one. It's a line drive to Garrett at the 6. Garrett running to the right. He's got blockers. Zepeda missed the tackle, but it slowed him down enough, and he's going to be taken down at the 21-yard line. And a little fracas going on with Aaron Randall and Dylan Monsieur of Southwestern. SNU defenders quickly out to assist their teammate there. But
yeah, that's right.
Back judge all over that as well, so no flag or anything.
Yeah, just trying to get to the end of the game. It's a good job by the referee, just trying to clear the traffic that could result in some unwise decisions.
So 2:10 to play. The Bulldogs need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They have all 3 timeouts. SNU showing blitz up the middle. They back out of it. Griffin drives it over the middle, knocked away by Hernandez, but a flag coming in from the far side.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get him with his back hand just on the side of that receiver, turning his body.
Around the hip a little bit.
Yeah, the front hand
was great.
Which is the hand that the crowd saw was there, but the back hand, you can't turn someone's body as they go to catch the ball.
So the pass interference on Hernandez will mark it up 15 yards to the 35-yard line.
And Hernandez,
36, excuse me.
He needs to keep his head up because he was in perfect coverage there.
Yes.
Your defensive coordinator is going to live with that penalty all day.
It's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. 3 wide left. Griffin looking that way. Steps up, lobs it deep down the middle. It's well overthrown for Torn Justice.
Yeah, and it looked like Justice was running kind of a post or maybe a dig route, and the quarterback seemed to be throwing
skinny post.
Yeah, a skinny post or maybe in kind of like a seam. Anyway, just seemed off.
Definitely flattened it a lot more than Griffin thought he would. Anyway, 2nd and 10, 2:01 to play. 2 wide receivers either side this time. Mask the running back beside Griffin. Here comes the blitz for SNU. Griffin steps up, fires it deep, and it's going to be incomplete, and flags fly.
Yeah.
Harris had Justice all sorts of wrapped up.
Yeah, that's definitely pass interference. The thing that is frustrating about this play is I don't know how there's not a hold in the backfield. Landon Walker has been a man on a mission this half. And I don't know that we've had a holding on a passing play all game, both sides, which is pretty rare. But, man, it seemed obvious to me. As obvious as that pass interference, I'll say that.
Indeed. So 2 pass interference penalties on SNU have moved the ball to the Crimson Storm 49-yard line. Still 1:55 to play. Griffin takes the snap, looking left, back to pass, floats it over the middle. That one's incomplete. Again, wide of Justice.
Yeah, and Justice really playing defense out there more than he was playing offense because the ball is not well thrown. Hernandez is in good position to make a play on it. And then you have the secondary who's waiting for that ball. If it's not tipped by Justice, it's going into to the arms of an SNU defender.
SNU looking to snap an 11-game losing streak as a program. That does not include the spring games as well. 2 wide receivers either side. Griffin back to pass, being pressured too high for his receiver, Deshaun Moreau, as David Omasigo right in his face in the backfield. So it's 3rd and 10. And Landry once again, even though the Bulldogs have moved at 30 yards on penalties, Still technically no offensive production
and
here on this drive.
Griffin is really feeling the pressure, and SNU's not sending a lot. They're just getting to him or creating pressure, and he just doesn't look very comfortable in the pocket. He's not stepping into his throws and force some bad ones.
3rd and 10. Here comes pressure up the middle, down the sideline, incomplete. Justice tried to go over the top of Dorian Harris, and it fell incomplete.
Yeah, and
good
again,
coverage there, and a good no call there by the official as well.
Yes, and Dorian Harris, he just played so well. I mean, you got to love a cornerback that's just physical, is not afraid of getting a pass interference because he wants to stick with his man. So 4th and 10. Let's see if they try Dorian Harris one more time.
3 wide left, 1 to the right, and Griffin slips down at the top of his drop. Oh my goodness! And a turnover on downs in the most melodramatic way possible. Griffin got to the top of his drop and just slipped and fell.
That's right. That's the easiest play to celebrate as a defense ever.
Man.
That's unfortunate for Griffin for sure.
Now the one thing here, there's 1:36 to play, and the Bulldogs do still have all 3 timeouts because of the penalties.
Yeah.
They did not, and the incomplete passes, they didn't have to use any of their timeouts there.
Yeah. I mean,
somehow.
Yeah. So
and they only had 34 seconds go off the clock in the process. And Jarvis Davis coming out on the field at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10 for SNU. Running back to either side here for the Crimson Storm. So that one is Fellows. He goes in motion to the left. The give to Ramirez across the 40, and a timeout for Southwestern. So a gain of 3 on 1st down. First down will do it.
We're going to see some variation of the play that we just saw for 3 downs. I mean, SNU is not going to try to do anything but give the ball to their bell cow tonight in Ramirez, who's, I mean, just by far, SNU has had their best game. And when you think about it, we've talked with Coach Hayden several times this season, and Hayden said, we're just a couple plays away. And tonight we're seeing it. And they've missed some big plays too, right? Like they've had some frustrating plays, in particular in the first half. But they're connecting on the ones that it seems like each week they aren't connecting on. They hit the wheel route, which they missed twice last week. They've done well defensively on 3rd downs. They've created turnovers. They've put special teams together. Offensively, they've scored when they needed to in the red zone. So let's see if they can finish it off with this just getting one more first down.
2nd and 7. Ball at the SWASU 39-yard line. Roll-offs in motion to the top. Ramirez going to be taken down from behind by Orlando Brown. Loss of 2. Back to the 49-yard line. And even injured, you can see the impact Orlando Brown has for this defense.
Yeah, he's been all over the place.
And Landry, it's impossible to overstate the defensive performance in the second half in particular. But, I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, Tanner Griffin, he's 1 of 15 in the second half.
Wow.
Ended the first half 10 of 20. Is now 11 of 35.
1 of 15. Wow.
And the one was that 21-yard pass to Justin Bailey.
Which was a broken play, it looked like.
On the pump and go that didn't really happen. And outside of that play altogether, now that includes obviously the slip down sack here that turned the ball over. But outside of that one play, SWASU has 3 yards in the second half.
Yeah,
this is all-time defensive performance for the Crimson Storm.
Yes, absolutely. And somehow SWASU's still in this game.
Exactly. 3rd and 9. They need to get to the 32. Davis running left, hobbling. He's down to the 36 as he cut up field.
No doubt you go for it here. I mean, if Davis is feeling
the Bulldogs
okay.
Out of timeouts.
Yeah.
So the clock is moving. 1:10 to go. Ball at the 36-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 4. And Dustin Hayden standing right by the line judge. I would imagine that he will use his final timeout as soon as the clock hits, or the play clock hits 1.
You know, I said you go for it. I thought it was a little closer. I'm not sure that you don't not go for it, because if you go for it, flag, taking a timeout. Not a delay of game if a timeout is called.
No, who will take the delay of game.
Okay, so it looks like the punt is coming then.
Yep, just move it back to punt it.
Well, Hayden tricked us.
It might have been different if it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 4. Probably just going to just play it safe.
Yeah, you say if you want to throw a Hail Mary, throw it from your own 20, you know.
Yep. And if I'm Ryan Reed, I probably just send this straight out of bounds.
Yeah, angle, try to hit a pylon maybe. The one in the near side of the end zone, so far.
Just aim it at one of the...
try to hang it up there, too. I mean...
Swasu's coming after this one.
No doubt. And we can, you know, SNU can take a timeout. I think they're waiting to get the play clock going. Complaining about headlights in the far end zone. Guess that would be the north end zone.
If that's what you're waiting on, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. You know, that's small school football.
I was going to say, this is NCAA Division II football. But they got him off. The message was conveyed.
That's right.
Reed standing at his 45-yard line. The snap, Bulldogs coming, but he got it away. And it'll go into the end zone, which is fine because it wasn't blocked.
Yep, you'll live with that.
So 34 seconds.
You know, before
the Bulldogs will get it.
Before he kicked that, he looked over to his special teams coordinator and did the universal sign of, like, just hit it as far as I can, and he got a nod. So that is certainly what he did. Take a few seconds off the clock. And
so 34 seconds. The Bulldogs need to go 80 yards, score a touchdown, and get the 2-point conversion to force overtime. The track record of the second half says that will be a very difficult thing to do.
Yes.
But the Bulldogs are explosive.
Well, he might be able to complete a pass with this soft coverage at the end of the game.
Griffin dropped the ball. Back to pass, fires it down the middle. He's got a man, and it's going to be incomplete. Moreau was bobbling it as he went to the ground, and I think only because he was laying on a defender there was that called incomplete when it finally bobbled to the ground. Because if he was on the ground and then dropped it, I think they might have called that complete. But that's a catch he should have had.
Yeah, and that one's not on Griffin. Certainly had the receiver open. Throws a decent ball out there.
2nd and 10 with 27 seconds to go. Griffins back to pass. Pressure coming, and Landon Walker finally got there. The ball is on the ground, and it's recovered by the Crimson Storm. DeMarcus Hawkins got it. Landon Walker finally got home, and SNU is going to break the skid and get their first win of the 21 season.
Yeah, man, and doing it in dramatic fashion. And there's very few players I'd have picked to end the game with a sack other than Landon Walker. He just has been working hard all game. He's been fighting through holds. And then he comes around the backside behind the quarterback and just lays it on him. I'm not sure who recovered the fumble, but Landon Walker, if there's Gatorade to be dumped on someone today, find him and do that.
DeMarcus Hawkins fell on it, and just a dominant second half performance punctuated by the Crimson Storm's second forced turnover of the night. Jarvis Davis on for one kneel down, and you can celebrate for an extended amount of time as Dustin hit against the ice bath. His first win as the Crimson Storm head coach And this one extra sweet for SNU as they take down Southwestern tonight, 30-22, the final score here in Bethany. And Landry, it is always preferable to win on a Thursday.
Yes.
You can celebrate it 2 more days.
That's right. Yeah, especially a home game. They don't have school tomorrow, so they can actually sleep in, which is pretty rare for a football player these days. So they get that long weekend. Maybe they get to go home and visit their family, have some home-cooked meals, and they get to do it with a smile on their face.
What a game. What a dominating performance by the Crimson Storm defense in the second half. I mean, that ultimately is the story of this game. Southwestern in the first half put up 251 yards of total offense in the first half. They finished the night tonight with 269, officially 18 yards in the second half on 26 plays.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where those yards came from, and it certainly seems like they aren't including the I guess that, no, they would be including the two.
Including the 21-yard pass, the sacks, and everything.
Yeah, wow.
It all adds up to, I mean, it's hard to think of a better defensive performance certainly since we've been doing this together, and this is our third full season together. That was the best defensive performance we've seen this Crimson Storm team make.
Without a doubt. I mean, this defense in general has been really, really good this season. And tonight, I mean, they just took it to a new level. SWASU didn't have answers. I mean, just think about when we started this season, maybe the first 4 games, we were really concerned about the secondary and thought that was the, in some ways the obvious weakness of the defense. But they were tremendous tonight. I mean, SWASU, a team that can pass the ball and has some effectiveness on it, had nowhere to throw the ball. In fact, their quarterback couldn't even hardly complete a pass in the second half. And huge kudos to the defense who just played so well and left it all on the field, and can't ask for much more than that.
Then you look at offensively, SNU is able to, finally get in a rhythm running the football. They did it in a variety of ways, through the bubble screens, through between the tackles. Angel Ramirez and Christian Schellmeyer were great in that fourth quarter. Jarvis Davis was good as well before he was literally incapable of running the football.
And even
he still made that key fourth down conversion eventually led to the touchdown.
I think he had 30 yards with his ankle taped, 30 yards rushing with a bum ankle where he's just hobbling past defenders. I mean, he played well, but and certainly those guys are the standout. When you're limping down the field for a first down, it's pretty easy to be remembered. But you think just about every position had some kind of turnover, meaning someone came out for an injury for a brief time or someone else had to step up. Offensive line, I mean, we can't neglect them. Halfway through the third quarter, they're what I think is probably the best offensive lineman for SNU goes down, and it's your center who snaps the ball to your quarterback shot from the shotgun every play. All of a sudden, you think there could be some huge holes there, but they played really well, and even more so, they were able to run the football so consistently in the second half. And when you're winning, you can run the football, because when you're losing, you have to throw the football to conserve time. And so SNU getting to use its identity to its fullest capability tonight.
Couple wild stats for you here tonight. SNU, we knew the defense was good. 0 for 11 third downs for the Bulldogs.
Wow.
And SNU, even though they were able to move the ball well in the second half, didn't convert a third down in the second half. They were 0 for 8 on third down in the second half themselves. So even in the midst of moving the ball well, it's obviously you missed out on converting those third downs. But also the fact that they were able to move it down the field twice for points in that fourth quarter just goes to show, hey, you were ahead of the chains enough that you didn't necessarily have those third downs where you even needed to convert. I think just following along on the updated stats, I think they only had 3 third down opportunities in the entire fourth quarter.
Wow.
Anyway, Oh, I've got the third quarter stats right in front of me here. 5 fourth quarter third downs. But regardless, SNU holds the Bulldogs to 18 yards in the second half. You just can't get over that. I mean, and that's like where you just stop the story.
Yeah.
If you hold a team to 18 yards in 30 minutes, you're probably going to win the game unless you were down by 50 to start.
That's right. And, the funny thing is that they only scored 9 points in the second half. It seems strange that they only scored 9 points, but then you think SWASU only scored 3, and it was a gift from above that they were able to get the 3 on the board. They had missed field goals all day, and they were gifted a fumble at the beginning of the third quarter. They were unable to do anything, and a huge credit goes to the defensive staff and just those players who really did play very well tonight, undoubtedly.
Looking at the final numbers here, SNU finished with 16 first downs. Southwestern 15, just 3 of those after halftime. SNU 47 carries, 156 yards. Southwestern 24 carries for 51 yards, so officially -4 yards rushing in the second half for the Bulldogs. SNU through the air, 12 of 21 for 137 yards. Tanner Griffin for Southwestern, 11 of 36, 1 interception, 218 yards for Griffin. And again, he was 10 of 20 at halftime, making him 1 of 16 through the air in the second half. Final offensive number, 68 plays, 293 yards for SNU, 4.3 yards per play. Southwestern, 60 plays, 269 yards, 4.5 yards per play. Time of possession, SNU dominated, 36-51 for SNU tonight, just 23 minutes and change for the Bulldogs. Penalties still bit of an issue, 15 for 135. Of course, you had 3 pass interference penalties tonight, so those rack up real quick. A couple unsportsmanlike. So a lot of big varieties tonight to move those yards up. 6 penalties for 60 yards for Southwestern in this one. And then looking at the individual numbers for each team, we can pull those up for you. Like I said, if we can pull those up for you.
Yeah. While you're looking for those, this is one of those wins that, when we talk about it, which we have all season, just this culture building, right? We talked about it even before the game, that this doesn't seem like a team that thinks they're 0-6 now, 1-6. This is a team that is looking towards the future, that's getting better each week, and knows that they've got some real players and they've got some real talent that going forward could really win them some games in a really challenging, tough conference. And they're in good position to be competitive for a number of years.
Looking at the final offensive numbers for Southwestern, first up, receiving Justin Bailey, 4 catches for 88 yards. Deshaun Moreau, 1 catch for 44 yards, 1 catch for 22 yards for Patrick Lee. Just 1 catch for 18 yards for Taylon Garrett. Anthony Love with 1 catch, a 14-yard touchdown in the first half. Jermaine Mask, 1 catch for 12 yards. And Torrent Justice, 1 catch for 9 yards in the first half. And DeAndre Scott, 1 catch for 11 yards. Gerald Palmer, 7 carries, 21 yards for him. Nate Davis, 1 carry for 19 yards. That was the opening play from scrimmage, and he did not play the rest of the night, and that certainly impacted the way Southwestern went about their offense, because they were unable to establish anything on the ground outside of that. Jermaine Mass, 7 carries, 20 yards for the Bulldogs. Ethan Heisch, 4 carries, 10 yards, and a touchdown. And Kenny Graham, 2 carries, 4 yards, and a touchdown. Again, Tanner Griffin, 11 for 36, 1 interception, 218 yards, and a touchdown. He was sacked once, the final play of the game, and that resulted in the final turnover for the Crimson Storm defense. For SNU, Andrew Tisdale, 3 receptions, 61 yards. Reed Roloffs, 3 catches, 37 yards. 2 catches, 23 yards for Dalton Sanders. 4 catches, 16 yards for Aaron Fellows. Angel Ramirez, 12 carries, 63 yards. Andrew Tisdale had 2 carries for 32 yards. Jarvis Davis finished with 20 carries for 32 yards. Christian Schellmeyer, 4 carries, 23 yards. Reed Roloffs had 1 carry for 13 yards. And Colby Entwistle officially 6 carries for -6 yards, but that was with being credited for the 10-yard loss on the dropped snap late in the game as well. Jarvis Davis finished 11 of 14, 124 yards. And Landry, that was one thing that we noticed was just how efficient he was throwing the ball, confidence. That it was well scripted as well with easier throws, but he also was pinpoint accurate on those bubble tosses tonight.
Yeah, and you could tell at first that those bubbles are kind of a war of attrition because you want to wear down the other team with them, and the first few were on the money and gained a couple, 2 or 3 yards, and Jarvis didn't get to be in for all the ones that capitalized. Because by the time Entwistle gets in at the end of that game, he's throwing bubble routes to Reed Roloffs, and Reed Roloffs is got all this green grass in front of him to run, and that's because Davis was so competent in the first half at throwing those, something that he seems so much more comfortable in this offense now.
So just a great night all the way around for SNU. They got points from all 3 phases of the game on offense. Josh Johnson opened the game with a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And Dorian Harris, 48-yard interception return for a touchdown right before the end of the first half. And Landry, SNU goes to Northwestern next week, a game that is very winnable for this team. Obviously, you fortunately have a little bit of a longer time off to get healthy. Still missing several starters on offense. Andy Cardenas at left tackle, Jarrell Farr at wide receiver. Asa Robertson obviously out for a while. Gage Porter obviously out for the season. But Jarvis Davis, his foot, you got to hope that heals up in time. You hope that Joey Carrion can get well also, and that anybody else with nicks and bruises can get well for that game so that you can be clicking as loaded as possible going into that game. Maybe run this, grab another win, and really build some momentum. You've got that trip to Henderson that will be extremely tough regardless of the momentum. But then you come back home for your last 2 against teams that have certainly underperformed their expectations so far this season. And maybe you can really close with a strong note, seeing some success from all the growing pains that you've had early in the year.
Yeah, we talked about the schedule being, there's certainly some difficult games. But I think you want some winnable games, but you also want to have some challenging games because you know what Coach Hayden is saying in the locker room right now. He's saying, we can win. Like, this isn't beyond our grasp. Like, we don't have to be this team that comes so close and misses at the last minute or only plays the second half really well. But the things they want to do are there. The last 3 weeks, offensively, they've looked really good. And defensively, they've looked good all season. And they're starting to put these things together. And I think next week, even though they're traveling to Alva, Oklahoma, they have an opportunity with this long week to take another one.
And they're going to be tested very similarly to how they were tested tonight. Northwestern throws the ball around a lot. They don't run the ball extremely well. Their defense is the worst statistically in the conference. It's going to look, or in theory, it would look very similar to tonight's game. At least the challenges that the opponent presents are definitely going to be pretty similar. But Landry, your final thoughts from tonight?
No, it's a good win. It's good to get SNU in the win column. They played their hearts out, and they deserved it tonight. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, it's cool to see everybody just get that monkey off your back. You not only do you get your first win under Dustin Hayden, first win of the season. You get your first win since October of 2019. And, I mean, you've played a lot of football games since then, including the spring games. You played 15 football games and lost them all coming into tonight. So that, for the guys who've been around for a while, it's good to see them get that win and hopefully build some momentum from that. So we'll be on the air next Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff in Alva, as the Crimson Storm take on the Rangers of Northwestern Oklahoma State. You can listen to that game right here on Crossover Radio Sports, presented by Edmund Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Our videographer tonight, Edgar Ceballos. Producer, Christian Garcia. For Landry Franks, I'm Luke McConnell. For all of us here at SNU Athletics, good night from Bethany.